Hey, Tony.
Oh, hello, Joe from Movie Dumpster. I haven't seen you in forever.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
That's good. I figured I'd, stop by and check out the old video store.
Yeah.
I thought Sean was going to be here.
I'm sorry, who's Sean?
My co-host for Movie Dumpster.
Oh, yeah, that guy's been in a couple episodes.
Yeah.
Yes, he was here. We got a call from a very eccentric European guy.
Okay.
He wants to turn his video store into a Hack the Movies branded video store.
You're franchising now?
Apparently. But I don't know if you know this. It's been a while since you were on the show.
Yeah.
I'm like very famous and very important.
Oh.
So I just sent Sean. I thought he could use a vacation.
Is he coming back?
I don't know. What do I look like? His mother? I'm not keeping tabs on him.
Well, we gotta go get him.
Fine. Let's do everything Joe from Movie Dumpster wants to do. Let's just leave the video store and go to Transylvania to look for your goddamn co-host. You're just calling the shots now. God damn it. All right, let's go. I'm going to close up.
It's time to hack the movies. Today, we're talking about tapes with Tony and somebody else.
Talking about tapes.
Okay, well, we're in Transylvania now, and what the hell are you wearing?
I had to dress like the Romanis.
Are you trying to blend in?
Yeah.
I don't know.
We're in Budapest.
Yeah, they don't dress like that anymore.
Yes, they do.
I don't know. I think you're a little outdated.
I don't know about that.
I think they're all wearing the finest, newest Hack Movies merchandise here.
They might be.
Anyway, we're in this Transylvanian video store, and oh, hey! That's the guy! That's the guy who owns the store. He wants to turn this into a Hack the Movies. How you doing, buddy? Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I noticed you have, well, I wanted to say large selection, but it seems like it's a very limited selection of movies. I mean, you have multiple options.
There's a 50-50 chance you're gonna watch a good movie.
Yes. So that might be why you've been having problems. Anyway, we sent our friend out here, Sean. Have you seen him? Can you go get him for us? Okay. Well, Joe, I think it's pretty convenient that in this video store, in this old Transylvanian castle, they happen to have a podcast set. Isn't that crazy?
That guy's really come a long way. Yeah.
Yeah. He probably watches the show and he probably wanted to start his own show in a video store. But again, he needs more movies. He can't just have the two. However, I really like one of those movies.
Yeah, that's why I said you had a 50-50 chance of watching a good one.
So yeah, let's, by the way, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, we did Master of Disguise.
Yeah.
And then our schedule got all nuts.
Yeah, but at least we're talking about a really good movie today that I really like.
Oh, better than Master of Disguise?
I don't know. Is it going to top it? Let's find out.
Joe, I have more to say about Master of Disguise. No, I'm kidding.
I'll stake myself through the heart.
Bram Stoker's.
Francis Ford Coppola's Bram Stoker's Dracula.
This started like a string of like, hey, let's take these old horror films and remake them again.
And breathe new life into them.
Yes. And there was a series of them. We talked about it before, like in our Mummy review. We talked about there was this, Frankenstein, Wolf
with Jack Nicholson.
Mary Riley.
That's with, what's her face, right?
Julia Roberts.
Julia Roberts plays Mary Shelley?
Yeah, no, Mary Riley.
Oh.
That is a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde movie.
That's right.
And it's like Mary Riley was the maid who was watching all the. It's terrible.
Sounds awful.
So they were trying to reboot a lot of these old monsters.
Hollow Man. When did that come out? That came out like...
That's like toward the tail end.
Yes.
But yeah, and this one, it's probably the best out of all the ones I just mentioned.
Because Coppola cared about this movie. Intensely.
Yeah, when you watch the behind the scenes, he talks about how, he loved Dracula movies.
Yeah.
He's like, I love Dracula movies, but my one problem was they never followed the book. They made weird changes. One of these examples he cites is sometimes Mina and Lucy's names are switched, and I think that's in the 70s Nosferatu, the Werner Herzog one.
Yeah.
They combine Harker and Renfield. There's weird stuff like that.
Well, even in the Bela Lugosi one, you merge Renfield and Harker together, and it's
And then Harker's still there.
Yeah,
it's a little
or
weird.
whatever.
But yeah, so he set out to make this like really accurate film.
It's pretty faithful, I would say. I mean,
I just read the book, and like the sequence of events are followed pretty well. They added a lot.
well, yeah.
And then like Mina's around for a lot of stuff that she wasn't around for in the book.
Yeah.
They move some things out of, they omit characters like Lucy's mom is out. The guy, Jonathan Harker's boss, he only has one scene in this, but he's like a father figure to him and whatnot. Stuff that you could easily cut
they
out.
trimmed out the stuff that they didn't need. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they trimmed a lot of Van Helsing stuff out. They speed up Van Helsing a lot in this.
Every time Anthony Hopkins is on screen, he's just eating that fucking scenery, man. He's like, yes, we're going to kill Nosferatu. It's going to be great.
So
I'm hungry. Yeah.
The origin of this film is Coppola didn't write it. He was meeting with Winona Ryder because she kind of screwed him over on Godfather 3.
Okay. Who cares?
Yeah. In the end, who actually cares? I think it was like a thing where she was sick, but that also might be a lie. She might not want to do it. It was the whole thing.
Yeah.
So they were meeting to reconcile, and she had the script for Dracula, and she's like, hey, I think you might like this. It's like, oh, I love Dracula. I used to read it all the time. Mm-hmm. So that's what kind of got the ball rolling. And yeah, this is like one of the most creative films. He hired his son, who was a magician.
Yeah,
because when your dad's rich and famous, you could just fuck around and be a magician.
Well, if you watch some of that stuff, like any special features or anything, or like any like behind the scenes stuff, there's a production meeting specifically that Coppola's at, and he's like talking to the effects guys, and he's like, no, he's like, I'm not doing it that way. We're not doing it that way. You're all fired. That's
hiring my son.
Yeah, but like. The way that he wanted to do it, like everybody was telling them he couldn't do it that way. Yeah. For whatever reason, because the budget or the time or whatever.
The one way he wanted to do it was to just have like painted backdrops and have minimal sets and stuff for a big budget theater movie. And that shit wasn't going to fly.
Yeah, well, they kind of still had their cake and ate it too.
But I mean, like, it was going to be super minimal. Yeah. Like, almost like it was like a stage play.
Right. And they wanted it to look like Black Sunday. Bob's Black Sunday.
Yeah. But I guess the producers were like, what? No. Even though he was one of the producers, he has to answer to other people.
Sure.
He made the whole cast read the book. And Anthony Hopkins was apparently pissed off.
Why? Like, I feel like that's mandatory. No?
But no. He had them for 3 days. They all sat down and read the book together.
Oh, together.
And Anthony Hopkins is like, why are we doing this?
Francis wanted to make sure that you read every fucking page of that book. Every single syllable.
Yes, because this was supposed to be the most accurate one. And then he added a lot. What is it? I think the BBC, James did a video on it. I think there's a BBC one that's more accurate, but
I have no idea.
When did you first see this movie?
Well, I actually didn't see the entire movie till I was a little bit older. When
I'm in the same boat with you.
It came out in 92. I was 5. I think it hit video when I was 6 in 93. But I remember specifically it hitting video and it being, I mean, I remember the trailers and it being a big deal and stuff. Like, so much so that like you said, like my mom and dad, like, had to go see it in theater and like rented it or whatever. But I remember going to Hollywood Video and walking into the video store, and in this particular store, I would walk all the way to the back, and that would be the horror section. But they also had this huge display for Bram Stoker's, like the cover, with the statue, the vampire face with 2 wolves. That was like on the back wall.
Oh, cool.
And then there was like 79 copies of it on VHS. That was my first, like, I guess, exposure to the film, besides like trailers and stuff like that. Yeah. But I didn't watch it in its entirety till I was like a teenager. But I've seen clips of it and stuff prior to that.
Okay. Yeah. So I saw it on video. I assume my mom. This is a very early movie memory for me.
Yeah.
I assume my mom rented it or someone gave her a copy of it. We didn't own it. I didn't own it till like way later. So she put it on. I'm watching it. And like, I think I had heard, because I'm real young at this point.
Yeah.
And like, I kind of knew what Dracula was from like decorations on Halloween. Sure. So like this movie started. I'm like, what is this? Okay. I see the creepy old man who looked like that guy who was here earlier. I guess that's just how they dress here.
Kind of.
Yeah, now I feel bad. I thought that was like a creepy thing, but if he's wearing it too, then that must just be a thing they wear, and I feel kind of mean now.
I mean, his hairstyle was really excellent.
It was really excellent. It's so funny, like older people like will be like, "Oh, the hair was so stupid," but like when that's your first exposure to Dracula, you're like, that's awesome. We should mention they just got some Asian lady who just let her go nuts with the costume.
Oh, really?
design.
It is very like
Yeah, they were like
yeah.
do whatever you want, because after like a million movies where Dracula looks the same, you might as well just go crazy.
I think it works though. Like
It
really,
works.
like
It gives
really
the movie
well.
its own identity.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm watching that. I'm being horrified by everything, and I did like horror stuff. Like I mentioned the show a lot. Like my parents showed me a lot of movies when I was young that most parents don't show. This was one of the rare exceptions where it got to a point, and I'll explain what that point is later when we get to it, where my mom was like, you know what? I think that's enough, and turned off the movie.
It's also one of those things where like this movie's great.
Yeah.
But as a kid, it's boring as shit.
No.
Yeah, in my opinion.
Oh no. See, I was never bored by this
dude.
movie.
I was always firing up like Monster Squad or something like that.
No. As a kid, I was in.
Yeah?
I was in. All this is not a boring movie.
No, I'm not saying that it is a boring movie, but like I feel like it just wasn't.
Maybe to a 5-year-old, but a 4-year-old, 3 or 4-year-old.
Well, you're very wise beyond your years.
I am wise
right?
beyond my years. Yes, I am. So at some point I thought that's how the movie ended. I eventually got the Sega CD game handed down to me, and I played it a lot. Not a very good game.
Didn't they make one for Genesis too?
The Nintendo's, Sega,
goodness.
Super Nintendo, and Sega CD.
Never played it.
And also Frankenstein got all those too.
Unbound?
No.
Or Mary Shelley's?
No, Mary Shelley's. Fun fact about that when we get to that section.
Okay.
So I played that a lot, and then there was one night they were playing it on TV over the course of 2 nights, I think. That's how I remember it. Might not have been the case, but they did play it on TV.
Sure.
And that's when I saw most of the movie. I'm like, cool, now I know how this movie ends. And then finally, in the early 2000s, HBO and Cinemax were playing it all the time.
Right.
And I think I watched it every single time it was on.
Yeah, okay.
So I watched it a lot over and over again and started researching. It became, I don't really do favorite lists or top 10s or anything like that. I always have to break it down into subcategories. But like, if I had like gun to my head, it's like top 10 favorite movies, this is making it into the top 10.
Okay. It's definitely my favorite Dracula movie. Like, this is the end-all, be-all Dracula movie for me. I mean, I like the other ones, too, like Christopher Lee's stuff, and, Bela Lugosi's is fine. I do like
Bela Lugosi.
I mean, I'm not the biggest Dracula fan anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm more an Invisible Man, Creature from the Black Lagoon guy.
Well, I mean, this is probably like the second best Dracula incarnation. The first is, of course, District Attorney Dracula from Mummy Cop, the series. And I think we can all agree that District Attorney Dracula is the end-all, be-all Dracula. I like to think that that's what Bram Stoker had in mind, but the world wasn't ready for it yet.
Yeah, I could see it. Yeah.
Yeah. So we all agree that my Dracula that I made for my web series is the best, but Gary Oldman's is a close second.
He's okay in this.
He's okay in comparison.
He's all right.
So I guess we'll get into this movie.
Okay.
So, sorry, I used that guy's printer here in Transylvania, and it only printed one set of notes. But you have your own notes.
I do have my own notes. Yeah, like
which
completely
you just brought
separate from Tony's notes.
Yes, and you just brought some. I don't know when I got these notes because we just arrived and sat down. But much like Dracula, I guess like the reality doesn't work the same way here in Transylvania.
Magic.
Absolutely.
You know what this is? This is a double exposure. These things aren't even here right now.
So, for a movie that wants to be super accurate to the book, and is to the point they put the name Bram Stoker.
Yes.
Okay, we get like a 5-minute origin that's not in the book.
No. So
an origin that was added a lot. This was like added in post. Like, this is added late into production.
It wasn't really? This was not like conceptualized?
I listened to the commentary track, and a lot of it was shot by Roman Coppola, the son.
Yeah.
On like a minimal budget and whatnot.
I mean, it is incredible.
It is awesome.
Yeah.
So we see Dracula.
Yeah.
He is fighting the Crusades.
In the name of God.
In the name of God. Yeah, so he's fighting the Ottoman Empire. And Coppola was explaining like that area of the world, like they were super Christian. and they had to deal with like the Ottoman Empire, but like all the other Christian countries were like a little too far away from them to help intervene. So they're like, all right, well, I guess we got to take care of this ourselves. And they're working in the Vlad Tepes stuff.
Right. Which I think is cool because it's one of those things where, again, like it's not part of the original story.
No.
And like, obviously over the years, people will be like, well, he was inspired, Bram was inspired by Vlad. So the way that Coppola kind of blends that together in this is really excellent. And I think the best way that I've seen that interpreted. And then going forward, we're just going to keep doing that in every incarnation.
Yeah. Now, the book does mention he did like command armies and stuff in his life.
Well, funny you mentioned that because I read, I can't remember exactly where, but he was probably influenced more by Attila the Hun than he was by Vlad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did Attila the Hun impale people and then leave them up on spikes?
I don't know. The Huns are notorious for some awful shit. They also came out of a giant hole in the sky. Yeah. From the Buchanan.
Oh,
yeah.
That's a callback.
Oh, yeah.
To Frankenstein Unbound.
Frankenstein Unbound.
Go back and watch that episode. It's a great episode. Or listen to Joe's episode on it on the Movie Dumpster podcast.
Yes.
There's your plug.
Thank you. MovieDumpsterPodcast.com.
So, the best part of this is Dracula's bat meat armor.
If you don't remember anything else from this film, you remember the hair, like the old man Dracula.
Yes.
And you remember this suit.
Yes.
For sure.
That's why they just released Funko Pops. And it was
it's such an awesomely designed.
And again, this is just some lady being like, I don't know what Dracula is. This. Because they're like, okay.
Well, now that you mention it, he is kind of like, it's almost part like samurai.
Yeah.
Kind of musculature.
Yeah. That's why I always said it's a red meat suit.
Meat suit. Yeah, sure.
It is funny when you watch the behind the scenes. This suit is falling apart the entire. Like every time Gary Oldman does anything, pieces are just flying.
It always is. I mean, even in like Predator, that fucking thing was just coming at part of the seams all the time. Yeah. That's why he's got all that fun bone stuff all over him. Because they're like, oh, cover it up.
So we get to see the scene of him fighting in battle.
Yeah.
And this is done on a red backdrop with mostly shadow puppets. Paper shadow puppets in the background.
The shadow puppets in this scene are amazing.
And like when you know what they are, it becomes more obvious, especially when you're an asshole like me and you've seen this a million goddamn times.
Well,
but going into it like you don't notice it at first. Like, wow, that's a lot of extras they got for that particular scene.
Well, that's something that I love about this movie too. Like there's this wonderful like gothic fairy tale kind of vibe going on. And like this just comes through so well.
Yeah.
In kind of telling that story of Vlad and like all of his,
the only issue is
killing spree.
The only issue is like later in the movie, they want you to feel like sympathetic for Dracula.
Sure.
And it's like, because he lost the love of his life. It's like, yeah, he was murdering and impaling and skinning people before that.
He didn't want to do it. Okay, and he was like, all right, I'm gonna have to kill all these people, and if I do kill all these people, it will save my people, and I will be saved, and my soul will go to heaven, and all that.
Joe, there's a difference between I need to kill to save my people, and now that they're dead, let me put them up on a spike and rip them like that. That's where it's like, okay.
Just to keep more people away because he doesn't want to kill them anymore.
At some point, a priest should be like, hey, let's slow this down a little bit.
They were loving it. They were like, yeah, Inquisition.
So he kills everybody. He thanks God and he's like, God will love what I did. Because he loves killing, apparently. But then he gets
it's the old Wrath of God stuff, right. The smiting and all that, brimstone.
Yeah. He gets a premonition that something's wrong with Elizabeta, and he says Elizabeta. He's looking at an image of her, but I imagine his soldiers are like, you just say just the lady's name out loud? That's a little weird.
Does he have a picture of her in his hand?
No, they didn't have pictures back then.
No. Excuse me. Drawings, paintings, engravings. Yeah. Oh, no. I think he looks up and it's like she's like super.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. So he
front projection.
So this is all being narrated by Anthony Hopkins. Yes. One of 3 roles that he plays in this.
Love it.
Yeah. So right now he's the Transylvanian priest, I guess.
Plus the Lord Dump VO guy.
The what?
The Lord Dump VO guy.
Oh, yes. I imagine they're the same person.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So we see Elizabeta. Apparently the Turks threw an arrow and launched an arrow with a message into the castle saying, hey, Dracula's dead. Which I can't believe they thought that would work. And it did, but it's just like, hey,
they're going...
They're like, oh my god, we're just gonna tell her he's dead. It's like, but what if he had like she like didn't kill herself? She'd be like, oh, you see what these fuckers did?
I think it was a last ditch effort because he was a nut, and he would like. I mean, he literally massacred their entire army.
That's true. That's true. So yeah, she kills herself.
Yeah,
and it's a doll. It's like a puppet.
Flings herself from the castle window.
Like cotton ball clouds. It looks great,
dude.
A beautiful fucking movie.
Again, let's get right out in front of this. All of the effects in this movie are done as they were traditionally, like in the 1900s.
Yeah, with like,
which is incredible.
Even when they superimpose, it's like they filmed it, reversed the camera, filmed it, which is rough to do.
It's called a double exposure.
Yeah.
And the way that it works is, you film whatever piece it is, you mat it out. They had like special matte boxes made. And then you crank the film back, which is insane when you think about it.
Yeah.
And then record and then essentially expose over that.
Yeah.
And then capture the other piece of film.
You know, I'm inspired.
Or imagery.
I'm inspired by this. I'm going to film all stuff like this from now on. And I hope Jessica knows how to edit physical film and double exposures. And she better get it right or I'm going to be like really mad. So, I don't know. Oh, wait. I realized we're in a different video store.
That's right.
Jessica's not in our security closet. I guess this guy has someone else. Well, whoever's here better learn how to edit physical film and double exposures.
Maybe they do. I mean, I don't know. They're pretty advanced here, though.
Yeah, we're going to get a photo lab. And Jessica's I'm going to throw her in the photo lab.
Perfect. She's going to mix the photo dungeon.
Yes. With like the chemicals and stuff. Did you ever do that in college?
Oh, yeah. I took a wet lab course.
Yeah, I made a mistake. I had like a cut in my hand, and those chemicals got in it.
Oh my god! We get some fix in there or something.
It hurts.
No, I'm sure it does.
Hurts a lot. Anyway,
my goodness. Put a
so I read that the blue flame was an optical effect.
Okay.
And I have my doubts about later effects, but
you mean a digital composite effect,
like not even like digital, but like like blue screened after the fact in post production, like added in post production.
Right, it wasn't done in camera and or projected or whatever.
I don't think they did the camera back for that one. That's what I read.
I don't know.
That's what I read.
Maybe.
Not that it matters, but whatever.
It could also be that traditional thing of where they like. Did they do it like on the film itself, like paint it?
No, it looks like it's real like fire that they were shooting up.
Yeah, I guess so.
So, Dracula's upset.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, he's a little upset that his wife killed herself.
Understandably.
Depending on the wife. I mean,
it's Winona Ryder, dude. I don't know.
So he's very upset. He's crying. He's screaming. And then the priest, Anthony Hopkins, he just picks the best time. Just not like as he's. So Dracula just came home
after killing like 5 million Turks
and thinking God was gonna be like, you're my guy.
Yeah, like he's arm in arm with him or something. Yeah,
he comes home and finds out his wife is dead, and he's sitting there and he's crying, and then the priest is like, oh, by the way, she killed herself. She's going to hell. And it's like, could you wait? Could you wait like till tomorrow? Tomorrow, bring that up.
Do you think if he waited, Dracula wouldn't be a guy?
Yeah, I think if he waited.
Like he just came in, he's the bloodlust is still like high inside of him.
Or you know what? Just don't tell him. Just don't tell him.
I mean, he has a giant sword. He's crazy.
Hey, priest, asshole. This guy's helping you out a lot right now.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe like leave that detail out.
Literally your scapegoat, but yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that's it's just like, dude, could you fucking show some restraint? And in the deleted extended scene, he fucking cuts off Anthony Hopkins' hand.
Which I think that would have been so much more impactful.
Yeah.
I think it was like an MPAA thing where they're like, all right, well, you cut his hand off.
You got a lot in this. You better cut that out.
Yeah.
But that's why like Anthony Hopkins' hand like never moves because it's fake. So later on in the movie, they're going to talk in great detail about how to make a vampire.
Okay.
And it's like okay, you have to feed on their blood, they have to feed on your blood, you have to die, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Or you could just sit there and go like, I don't like God, I want to be a vampire when I die, and then stab across, and then hope it just leaks blood, and then drink it, and then you're a vampire.
I think you have to kill a certain number of people.
Okay.
In a certain amount of time.
Okay.
Then you have to impale them, skin them.
Okay,
right?
okay.
Then you have to come back and find out that the love of your life has killed themselves or no longer lives, however you want to cut that. And then have Anthony Hopkins tell you that you're both going to hell, or she's going to hell at least. Then you have enough emotional power to conjure the blood that comes out of the cross.
So the whole thing is like, if she's going to hell, I will too. And it's like, well, yeah, you can just die. I don't know why you're doing this whole I'm going to come back to life.
Well, he needs to be forgiven for his sin, or like, okay, does killing all those Turks qualify him to be forgiven?
I don't know, Joe.
You know what I mean? Like, he should go to hell anyway.
Joe, I haven't been in Catholic school in many, many, many years.
I'm just saying.
But yeah, he's just like, I'm going to stab this cross. And now it's bleeding blood. The statues are bleeding. There's blood everywhere. And it's like, oh, that's how... In my mind, like, I want to think like, oh, was he the first vampire? But there are books about other vampires. And he doesn't seem like he's doing a lot of traveling.
No, at the time, you mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, I mean, was there another vampire that was like,
I don't think so.
My husband fell down the stairs. I went out sky. And then they became a vampire.
Well, no, because you have to drink the blood because the blood is life.
I'm going to try that. I'm going to go home. My girlfriend's dead. I'm going to be like, where's our crucifix?
She has to take her life for you to become a vampire? That's how that works.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
So great, like, screaming, and then cut to the title scene, and
when he's like, I denounce God.
I will raise...
The guttural sounds coming out of that man in Romani or Romanian.
If he went like this, it would have been Italian Dracula.
It's very close, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's situated like in the Balkans, which is like, between Russia and Italy.
Yeah.
It's like right in the middle. So it's kind of like, there's a little bit going on there.
The Italians are too busy now.
Whatever. But he's like, oh, what did you do, God?
But yeah, in the extended cut, like, blood shoots out onto his face, and then the entire room fills with blood, and then she sinks into the blood.
It's great.
And then it crosses off into modern day. Mina getting like a Yeah.
I much prefer that gilded look of the title sequence.
We interrupt this spooky episode for this spooky announcement. Do you know what's spookier than seeing a black cat on Halloween? It's shaving your balls with anything other than Manscaped. When it comes to below-the-waist grooming, there's no need to carve your pumpkins this Halloween because Manscaped is here to upgrade your grooming experience. Go from a bite-sized candy bar to a king-size candy bar and join the 2 million men worldwide by going to manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping with code HACKTHEMOVIES. Hello, Justin.
Oh, hey, Tony.
How you doing?
You know what? I really do appreciate all of the innuendos they toss out there.
They really do. So, Justin, tell me about your balls. What's it like when you shave them?
Well, a lot of people ask. They say, Justin, the curtains match the drapes, or the carpet match the curtains. What is it?
Do the curtains...
drapes?
Does the carpet match the drapes? Yes.
Do the carpet match the drapes? And I say no. I got hardwood floors, thanks to Manscaped.
That's a Kieran joke.
Is it?
Yeah.
I came up with that. He's
a liar. That's a Kieran joke.
I came up with that joke.
Anyway.
Kieran stole that joke from me.
What was life like before Manscaped?
It's terrible.
Terrible?
Yeah. Full of nicks and other men I know. You like that?
Anyway, have you ever tried to trim your balls and it turns into a Freddy Krueger film? Well, luckily, Manscaped is here to save the day and make sure you're smelling fresh with their new refined body wash. Fellas, the ladies love their signature scent and will scare away those vampires. I don't see any vampires in the store.
That's
Must
true.
be working.
Yeah.
It's a full moon out and the werewolf in your pants is howling. It's time to tackle that problem with the Lawnmower 4.0. Their finely tuned pube products feature a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 is easily the greatest ball trimmer on the planet. Oh, did I mention this trimmer is waterproof too?
You didn't.
This trimmer is a shower essential, wouldn't you say, Justin?
I think so.
Their Performance Package 4.0 also includes the Weed Whacker, a total game changer to your men's hygiene arsenal. Seal the deal with Manscaped's liquid formulations. Their Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and Crop Reviver Ball Toner will make sure your pumpkins stay fresh. Trust me when I say this, fellas, your balls will thank you.
Have you ever seen a hairy pumpkin?
I have not. But I have heard my balls thank me.
Ah.
Thank you. Justin, guess what Manscaped did?
What?
They threw in 2 free gifts to their Performance Package 4.0.
They didn't.
They did. The Manscaped Boxers, which feel really nice, and the Shed Travel Bag. Bring your comfort and boxers to another level. If you're looking like Wolverine and haven't cut your nails recently, which you have not,
I have a very healthy cuticle. Fuck off.
be sure to look into the Sheer 2.0 nail kit. This all sounds great, right, Justin?
This sounds awesome, Tony.
Yes, and our fans can get 20% off plus free shipping with promo code HackTheMovies at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the promo code HackTheMovies at manscaped.com. Say trick or treat to your beautiful new Halloweeny with Manscaped.
Trick or treat, Halloweenies.
We meet Tom Waits as Renfield. And he's creepy.
He's Martha. He's hilarious in this, but he's also really, really good.
Yeah, he's really, really good in this. Yeah. And I don't know if the book ever explained who Renfield was. I know I just read the book. I listened to the audiobook, but I have trouble retaining memories. I don't know if you know the show, but I'm very famous and important now.
That's right. You can only think about yourself.
I know, and I'm just like, all right, Dracula, but what about me? And so I stop listening. I actually throw my phone with Audible into the woods.
Makes sense.
And then later on, I'm just like, oh, how did Dracula end? So I have to go into the woods and grab my phone.
The phone's bleeding.
My
You drink the blood.
I renounce my phone.
You renounce Audible, and you become the, I don't know what, audiobook vampire?
I forget if they explained who Renfield was, but from what I could gather, he's just a guy that somehow Dracula's been sending messages to.
No idea.
In the book.
The last time I read, I didn't even read the book. I listened to it, the Christopher Lee abridged version where he narrates it or reads it, whatever you want to say. Yeah. And I don't remember.
This movie, though, he is the previous real estate guy who was sent to Transylvania.
Yeah. Now, is he a lawyer? Are they lawyers? Because Keanu Reeves says that he's going to be partner now because Renfield's.
Well, it's like a real estate firm.
Or maybe
they handle the contracts with the land.
For sure. I mean, that's why he goes to Transylvania.
Yeah. So apparently Renfield went, and Dracula just made him crazy. And said, go back to England. You're going to be my guy there.
My eyes and ears in the insane asylum?
Yeah, send another guy. Because the whole thing is like, oh, he's using this lunatic to mind control to do his bidding. It's like, well, he doesn't really do much.
No, well, there's nothing for him to do because he's not out and about.
Yeah.
You know?
I think Dracula screwed up on that one.
I think Dracula was like, you don't have a hot wife? Go back to England and get somebody else.
So they're sending Keanu Reeves, Jonathan Harker.
Hello, I'm Jonathan Harker. Or whatever. I'm going to Budapest.
That's actually a pretty good Keanu. So apparently, Coppola was kind of forced into using him.
Oh, was he really? I was going to say, why?
Because they wanted like a young heartthrob.
I love Keanu Reeves.
So do I.
But my goodness.
He is out of his... And you know what?
The thing is... cannot do an British accent.
Winona Ryder's not that much better, but I think he is he distracts you from that.
Because he's just like, I'm going to go to Castle Dracula.
We can be married when I return.
I read this a while ago. I have to find the quote, but I think Coppola at one point might have even told him to just not use a British accent, but he insisted just because it was so bad.
It's like proper Keanu speak.
Yeah.
So instead of being like, whoa, he's like, whoa.
He should have given us one whoa. If there was ever a movie for him to whoa, it would have been this one.
He gives us a pretty good scream later.
Yeah. So he tells Mina, he's like, I got to go to Transylvania and meet Count Dracula. And she's like, the vampire? And he's like, no, we don't know that yet. She's like, oh, okay. He's just okay.
Yeah. So Vlad the Impaler? Who's that? I don't know. I don't read history books.
So a peacock is just wandering by, and we dissolve into the train, and the train is above a book.
It's so cool.
How did they do that shot?
Let me tell you, Tony.
Okay, Joe.
So it's forced perspective. Sort of.
Sort of. No, they built a giant-ass book.
Well, that's how they were going to do it, right?
Yeah.
Was a forced perspective thing. And they were like, well, it doesn't look right. So instead of having like a regular-sized book like this close, they wanted the shadow of like the train and stuff. Yeah. So they built a 20-foot-long book.
With giant
with
writing.
giant calligraphy. It's amazing.
And then put a train track on top of it.
Yeah, but then shined a light on it, and you get the shadow of the smoke in the train, and it's all practical, like on the book.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
We get like the map projected onto his face.
Yeah, and that's all. They do front projection in this, rear projection.
Yeah.
All
And
they pull out all the stops for that stuff.
And then he's reading a letter from Dracula, and this always creeps me out. Like when I was younger.
Yeah.
When I was younger, this always creeped me out was just the blue eyes and the horizon staring at him.
It's so good, and it's like they have Keanu in like a car, and it's on springs and it's moving,
Yeah.
and then there's 3 different slices of land.
Yeah.
One's going really fast, one's going like a medium speed, and then the ones in the background are just stable.
Yeah.
And then they projected Dracula's eyes onto the map painting, and then double exposed. It's fucking insane.
This is all on the special edition
Yeah.
Blu-ray. We'll tell you all of this. It's really, really
it's
good.
Incredible.
And this is a movie you need to watch in Blu-ray.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
have the 4K Blu-ray, right?
I don't have the 4K Blu-ray, but I will say, like, the better experience of this, even that DVD version is fine to watch, because I feel like it needs the grain intact
Yeah.
when you watch this. And if it's too clean, I think it kind of takes away from
Maybe.
how the impact of that stuff
Yeah.
a little bit, in my opinion.
But no, that scene is awesome. I love
Yeah.
the little hint to Dracula there. He's your friend, D.
Hello, Big D. Come see me in my castle.
Coppola actually wanted to call the movie D.
Like, oh, okay.
But I guess a producer.
Like M?
Yeah, I guess a producer was like, no, we need a more record. It's Dracula. Why would you call it D?
Winona Ryder, Keanu
Keep in
Reeves,
mind, this
Anthony
one-
Hopkins in
Yeah.
D.
This movie was made after like Coppola had a couple failures. So I don't think he had quite the same pull. Like he was in his studio was in a little bit of trouble. I forget what movie did it that was like really fucking with him.
Godfather Part 3.
Well, Godfather Part 3, but I think that was like after a couple other ones.
I think, well, he had done Outsiders like almost nearly right before this, no? Or am I crazy?
Like mid 80s, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
it's weird how Coppola didn't have like the same kind of path as like Spielberg and Lucas.
And when you think
Lucas isn't that big of a director and more of a producer, but
when you think of Francis Ford Coppola, you're like, oh my God, he's a prolific filmmaker. Yeah. And then when you look at how many movies he's done that are like the big ones, you're like, oh, that's not as many as I thought it was.
Oh yeah, Jack, it's great.
I had no idea. You know what?
Yeah.
He is the director of one of my favorite movies ever.
What?
Captain EO. That ride at Epcot that they brought back with Michael Jackson. It's awesome.
I've never been on it.
Oh my goodness. They took it out for a long time, but the last time I went, like 10 years ago, they had it.
I don't like Disney.
That's fine.
Disney sucks.
I don't know if it sucks, but
children.
I don't think it sucks, but it might not be for you. I'm a child.
I go there all the time and I go, Disney sucks. And they're like, sir.
You stand outside the Magic Kingdom gates and you're like, you suck.
Yeah.
Mickey comes over and he's like, what's the matter, Toad?
Oh boy,
Why are you hanging out so much? How about I break your fucking legs?
The people let him go from the cart and they're like, you shouldn't be doing this. Anyway, bye.
There's a deleted scene where they're like, you cursed, John Harker. And he's like, I guess so.
And then comes the carriage.
Which is, I'm sorry, I got to talk about it again.
Yeah.
First of all, the design of the carriage driver, he looks. What did I write? Oh yeah, he looks like a combination of Horus from Stargate and a ring wraith. It's creepy as shit. And it's awesome.
Yeah. And his arm extends to grab him.
And it's so awesome.
But that's like, so he's attached to
like a crane.
The coach.
Yeah.
And then when the camera moves, it deattaches him to give him that effect.
Yeah.
And then brings him right back. And I think it's Gary Oldman playing him because traditionally Dracula is the coachman.
Sure.
And I think Bela Lugosi did that.
Dude, that hand thing, you can't fake. That's Oldman.
But this is like the start of like Jonathan Harker is like just like going with the flow, and it's like, dude,
that was strange.
Weird. And then he's
how peculiar.
They're driving on the edge of a fucking cliff. And he's just like, what about that? When are we going to get to the castle? And then the fucking coachman roars at him. He's like, what do you know? Well, there's a lot of wolves chasing us. I guess they have wolves in this country.
There's strung up on like a monument is like a mummy with like a wolf's head on it. And he's like,
no, it's a crucifix. That
oh,
they put
yeah.
a wolf's
Oh,
head
that's
on.
what it was, yeah.
Then we see blue flames, which we talked about. I think is the only one that was added in post, like whatever.
and he's got a fucking whip and shit, and he goes out and starts hitting candles.
Oh, Castlevania.
Yeah.
I don't play video games. That's
That's
for
okay.
children.
Oh, yeah.
So the blue flames in the book, I think it's believed like that's where Dracula hid like his fortune and stuff. And
So
the
right
gypsies
under the drawbridge is his entire stack of cash.
Not all of it. I think he leaves caches of like just different objects buried in the blue flames.
That's a huge thing of blue flame, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess because Dracula's in the coach, it's glowing for him.
Well, that was weird. Blue flame.
Yeah.
Not even. I'm just not even going to acknowledge it.
He looks at it too. And he's like, huh. Well, what are you going to do?
Okay.
What are you going to do?
Like, Dracula must be paying him so much money that he's just like, by the way, don't worry about all of the weird shit you're going to see when you come to my castle.
It's not even like what we do in the shadows when they hypnotize people.
Yeah.
You will see nothing weird.
Well, not for this instance, anyway.
Yeah.
Never once does he have to say to John Harker, don't see me, don't see this, or anything.
So,
Because he just doesn't give a shit.
so we finally get the reveal of Count Dracula proper.
Oh, man.
And it's the awesome shadow goes around the castle and then mimics Dracula who's there.
Again, cannot stress enough, all practical shadow. Amazing. There's like another dude like behind this light.
Wearing just the wig and a cape, but then wearing like jeans and shit underneath.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's a silhouette.
Because he's so unnatural that his shadow would be disembodied.
Yeah.
The rules of the nature do not apply to such an unnatural being.
There's something we didn't talk about. The guy who wrote this, James Hart,
Yeah.
he also wrote Hook.
Oh.
Yeah, and produced Hook, too.
Oh.
So now that I say that to you, do you think that Dracula's shadow and Peter Pan's shadow like hang out with each other? They go to the shadow bar?
No.
No?
I'm assuming the other writer on this did all the good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Because Hook sucks.
Yeah.
Anyway. So many people got so bad about the Hook thing. I went in neutral. And I came out the end being like, this isn't that good.
It's not great, but it's fine.
Okay, I know. It's your favorite movie. You love it.
It's my favorite movie, Tony. Absolutely.
I didn't realize that's who also wrote it. Because I knew Nick Castle wrote Hook, but then they replaced him. But anyway.
Yeah. Well, they replaced him with this guy.
Yeah.
Apparently, according to IMDb.
Well, he brought his A game to this one. So we see Dracula, and he's awesome. Gary Oldman is killing it with the accent.
I can't even do it justice, but he's got the tongue in the back of his throat, and he's like, Mr. Harker.
Did you well?
I did you well.
And then Harker crosses over into the Dracula's domain.
I love that scene because it's like the reverse trope of like inviting a vampire into your house.
Yeah,
and like he's like Harker stops for a second and he's like, okay, and then like puts both feet over the threshold and he's like, I'm in.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. You look weird, old man. You don't look like a living person, but that's cool. Sorry to have offended you.
Yeah. They have dinner.
Yeah.
And Dracula, he never drinks wine.
Vine.
Yeah, I never drink wine.
Look, that could have been a shitty line, and it because Gary Oldman delivers it, it's totally fine.
Yeah, and it was really good at Mummy Cop. I think it was better.
But they didn't go.
I love the painting. So it's based off a real painting.
Okay.
But
of
they
Vlad?
modified it. The painting that he has of himself.
Yeah, of Vlad.
Yeah, I looked up what that. I didn't look up what the painting was, but I typed in Dracula 1992 painting portrait.
Right.
So it looks like that's a real painting, but then they modified it to look like Gary Oldman. I don't know if it was supposed to be a Vlad, but
I don't know. It was a painting of Vigo the Carpathian, and they just painted over it.
there you go. Shit, we can't.
They're like,
they were like, oh shit, this is a good movie. How you doing, Joe?
No.
How you doing, Joe?
Don't worry, we'll see. I'll see you in November.
Maybe we'll cover other Ghostbusters movies on this channel one day. Who knows?
It's possible.
It's possible.
There's a lot of Ghostbusters content coming up, maybe.
I know, and it's still just the one good one. Anyway, so they're having dinner, and Keanu laughs at something Dracula says.
Dracula he's like telling him the
order of the Dracula.
He's like the order of the Dracula, and we are religious knights that we killed all these people. And
he's
whatever.
like, we were not entirely successful.
Yeah, whatever.
And then he's like, huh, yes. And then he's like, bro, I'm gonna fucking murder you.
He's like, this is no laughing.
He's like, what did you fucking say? I'll fucking kill you right now. And Keanu's like, whoa. This would have been a good whoa moment.
He doesn't even fucking bat an eye. He's just like, sorry, Count. I'm sorry I offended you.
Jessica. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. We're in Transylvania. What's a Transylvanian name for Jessica?
I don't
Jessica
know.
Slavovich.
Good.
Who I assume is the editor in this story.
Yes. Is
Please add Keanu Reeves saying whoa every time he reacts to a weird thing in this movie.
That's the thing, though. He doesn't. Oh, man.
For the rest of the movie, whenever you see something weird, I want you to add in a whoa.
So he talks about.
Wait. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
So
go
this
ahead.
scene's happening. He's
Yeah.
screaming at him
Yeah.
about the blood that flows through his veins.
Yeah.
But the scene is awkward because
Hairy palms and all that.
Harker apologizes.
Mm-hmm.
Keanu, I keep going back and forth.
Same difference.
The scene cross dissolves right when Dracula's about to say something because they cut out more of that scene.
Right.
But like they left in him about to say something, and it's bothered me for years until I got the Blu-ray. Yeah, it's exactly like that. Like,
Anyway.
Also, again, like I said, you want to watch this on Blu-ray. There's so many details in the castle that you don't really appreciate on like DVD or VHS. I love the arms holding the fire.
Yeah.
Which is everywhere. There's like big faces that I never really noticed before.
The set design is so incredible. And again, in those deleted scenes you're talking about, like there's so much of it that we don't see.
There's the deleted scene. So there's like a little water area, which we see a little bit of. I think that's where his coffin was.
Yeah, it's like the basement.
Yes. And like this, it's like this really cool scene, but I think there's also like skeletons down there, and it's like this.
There's like there's like impaled victims that he's like, I'll save a couple of those for my decor and put those right here next to my coffin.
Yeah, we were talking during the movie. They're like, so does he move the impaled skeletons when he invites people, but then put them back because he likes them?
I could just see Dracula. Like where am I going to put all these today?
You made a good point. There's like modern for the time steel beams like propping up the castle.
Yeah, because it's like falling apart. And again, you don't really see too much of that in the theatrical in the
I think the idea is that the castle is old. It's tied to his power.
Yeah.
And he's not because he doesn't have many people to eat. He's got to like eat people sparingly.
Because
So
he'll kill all of the what do you call it around the villages?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it turns out he's got 3 wives to feed.
Oh, jeez.
And they're just nagging in his ear, honey, when are we going to eat again? Why, have you killed anyone today?
He's a working man.
It's like Fat Tony's wife from The Simpsons. My wife constantly says, where's the money? When is the money coming? Why haven't you got the money yet?
Where's the baby, Tony?
Where's the baby, Dracula? So I think that's why he's like super old, because he's just saving whatever strength he has.
I guess so. Yeah. But in the reserve tanks. Yeah.
And I guess his castle, which looks like him, which I like. It looks like a man sitting in a chair.
Yeah.
I guess it's crumbling, and I guess he had to get modern steel beams to prop it up.
Is that why he's like venturing to go to London? Because he's like, I'm all dried up out here, literally.
Yeah, I think in the book they explain like he's been planning it for like a long time, and he kind of needed like the world to catch up technologically.
Oh yeah, because he's like Sorcerer Supreme, dude, and like the greatest scientist that ever lived.
Yes, but like he can't leave his homeland. He has to rest in his soil.
Right.
So I think it was like at this point in like the world, the pieces were there for him to finally move.
Sure.
But he's been having to make do in Transylvania. Maybe when he first became a vampire, he got a little too carried away. It was eating a little too many people.
That was a good century.
Also, he might have, because he talks about like blood is a rare thing. The warlike days are over. He must have died, but the war was still going on. So you're probably just eating people on the fucking battlefield. Isn't that what that Dracula Untold movie was about? I never saw it.
I guess, but like, he's not Dracula until after everybody's dead. So I guess he had a good stock of it. Like, wouldn't he just drain all the dead bodies and be like, oh, look,
I think that's what he did. But
reserve
he ran
tank.
out. Yeah.
Get me the get me the Turk 1296.
I'm going to eat some Turks. It's like Dracula. You lost. Like the war's been done for a while. Like, oh no!
Yeah, it's like a wine cellar of their different bloods from different years.
So yeah, There's a lot of incredible details that you have to see in Blu-ray.
Absolutely.
So I love how Harker keeps ignoring all the weird shit that Dracula's doing in this.
100%.
It's like he's completely oblivious, or he just doesn't care.
It doesn't matter what happens. Like, he can have the weird shadow thing, or like he could be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna shave you myself, or whatever. Or like he licks his blood and like screams at him.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
shit.
So there's even a deleted scene we saw where Dracula's kind of hovering up the stairs.
Yeah.
And then he goes out of frame, and then another Dracula comes up behind Keanu Reeves, and he's like, oh, wow, very interesting.
He doesn't even say a word. He's just like,
I like to think that I'm pretty observant, and I would know if there was a creepy Dracula doing weird things.
But how did you get there?
Yeah,
but
like,
he never says that.
I would have tried to entertain, like, do you have like a twin? Who was that other guy?
Yeah, is there
Where'd
another
the other one go?
Does everybody look like you up here? Like, is that your brother?
He's just Harker's flaw is
Tad the Impaler.
Harker's flaw is he just doesn't want to offend anyone.
Is that what it is? Is it a money thing? Like he's just paying so much money, he's just literally turning another cheek.
I guess. And here he's signing the documents.
Yeah.
The shadow's all disembodied, and Dracula's being a real weird. And here's another example of Dracula being a weirdo.
Yeah.
Keanu's like, oh yeah, you bought 10 houses. Is it to increase the market value? And then Dracula's like, do you believe in destiny? And it's like, he's like, I had the great love. Oh, love. And Keanu should have just been like, you didn't answer my question.
Yeah, so anyway, are you going to sign these documents or okay?
But this is where he sees Mina.
Yes, the portrait, yeah.
Yeah. So that happens, and then Dracula just kind of unfolds his cape and just wanders off.
Oh, yeah. And you know what else is funny in that scene?
What?
Is when he's looking at, the portrait of Mina.
Yeah.
And Keanu Reeves is like, yeah, that's Mina. She's to be my wife. And the shadow behind Keanu is fucking choking him. and Dracula's just sitting there like, yes, beautiful wife. I love that.
It's good.
Because it it's just like showing like his emotions and feelings and stuff.
I also like that a shadow could just knock things over.
Yeah. Well, Shadow also drinks blood at one point too.
Yeah,
so cool stuff though. I mean, I love it.
Yeah. So Dracula, I forgot to mention, before he flies off, he tells Harker he wants him to stay for a month and to write letters to all his loved ones.
I swear I'm not going to keep you here. Just write all these letters and I'm going to send them to your loved ones.
I want you to teach me your customs. Yeah. We never see him teach those customs. Like, it just never
Dracula is 4 centuries old. He knows every custom in the book. What are you talking about?
Not England, like modern day England. He doesn't know.
I don't know. We'll get to it.
Okay.
Yeah. I only say that because like he has modern mechanics in his fucking coffin.
That's true.
Then it like opens up like with like it's like a giant music box sarcophagus.
That's true. That's true. We'll build up that.
Yeah.
Mina is staying with Lucy.
Yeah, that must be nice, right?
Yeah.
You have a friend who has like a mansion that could fit like, I don't know, 40 families.
Yes. And in the book, like Lucy's there with her mother who's like really, really sick.
She's dead. She's
just not in this one.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean.
She has like no parents in this one. You don't even see the parents.
No, she's on like vacation.
So having read the book, so Lucy has multiple suitors, which is fine. And how the movie interpreted it was she's a real horn dog.
Oh man, well, they never tell you if she did or not.
No, I don't think she has.
I think
it's on her mind a lot.
She's flirty as hell. She's like, I can't wait to have a husband and have sex.
I'm almost 20, practically a hag.
And here's my Kama Sutra book.
Yeah, which that was Coppola's personal one. When I was listening to the commentary.
What was that, like a first edition of Arabian Nights or something?
Yes, that was his personal copy and someone stole it. He's like, I never found that copy again.
You know who it was?
Who?
Winona Ryder. You know she's got those hands, those 5-fingered fucking discount hands, dude.
We mentioned that in the Beetlejuice episode.
Oh my god.
So she's played by Sadie Frost.
Yeah.
Who never...
Did she take off?
She never like blew up. I guess she just did other things. You know what she did do? Well, one, she was being extremely hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then she married or at least dated the extremely handsome Jude Law.
Oh, yeah.
And now they have a super hot daughter. So
there you go.
Fucking sexy people.
Get them together.
Look up Irish Law.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't know what happened to Bruce Willis and Demi Moore's kids, though. My goodness. They look terrible.
Compared to them.
I know, but like, you like, oh, put these two beautiful people together. They're so he's so handsome. She's so beautiful.
What was it, Rummer Wilson?
Who the fuck would care?
She was walking around New York topless a few years back because you're allowed to do that there. And
all right.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I mean, to draw attention to it.
Well, look, I don't have any problem with that. It's just a matter of like.
But it's just like, yeah, we all know. We all know. Like, we've been to Times Square. We've seen the girls who walk around naked in Times Square.
And like the naked cowboy and stuff.
Yes.
I don't know. It was more a point of like, I thought they would be better looking people coming out of two people that are better looking.
Who are you to judge? I'm sure someone finds them very attractive, Joe.
And that's fine. And I, compared to them, I'm probably a dog. But that, just my opinion.
Well, dog can mean something.
I renounce dog.
No, I was trying to do the Seinfeld.
Oh, I thought you were going to do
where they're like, they said the Korean word for dog. He's like, well, it could be like fox over there. Oh, she's a real dog. Anyway. So yeah, Mina is with Lucy.
Yes.
Speaking of suitors that Lucy has, we meet them. One of them is Quincy.
Yes. The big old Texan man.
The only American in the movie. Best character. Should have been the star of the film. Should have been the star of the book. Now he's the best character. So he comes in, and he's looking at those fucking red coats. He's like, you guys thought you could.
He's all fucking. He's too cool, man. He comes in, he throws that fucking grape up in the air, and he eats it. He's like,
because he's a badass.
He is. I got a giant bow knife with a fucking rhino head on the hilt.
Did we find out if he was the Rocketeer? He's the Rocketeer.
He's
right?
in Rocketeer. He plays what is it, Scott?
Okay.
I don't know.
I haven't watched Rocketeer in a long time.
I've watched. The last time I saw that, I was like 7.
I think he's the Rocketeer. Anyway,
he's in it for sure.
So he's the best character because he's American.
Yeah.
Then we meet.
No. He's not the best character, but continue.
No, he is.
No.
The whole book should have just been Quincy. He's like, I'm gonna go to England. Tell them what's up.
I'm Quincy Vampire Hunter.
Yeah, I don't even know what a vampire is, I reckon, but I can take it. And then people are like, there's a Dracula. And he's like, I'll take care of him. And then he just shoots him.
Well,
and then he impales him with the American flag. And the American flag comes out the back. And then an eagle cries because of how beautiful it is. And then the Queen of England will go, thank you, Quincy, for saving us. We will be the 51st state. And he's like, there's not even 50 states yet. And she's like, we're planning ahead. That's my interpretation of
Sir Quincy. Yeah. Okay.
That's Tony Peluso. Oh, sorry. Tony from Hack the Movies. Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yes. No, Tony from Hack the Movies, Francis Ford Coppola's Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Anyway, we also meet Dr. Seward, who runs the lunatic asylum.
Oh, dude, what?
Richard E. Grant.
Yeah. He was just in Loki, man.
I didn't get up to that episode.
I mean, he wasn't in Loki, man.
No, I know he's in it.
Oh, okay.
I just didn't get up to
sorry
that
for the
episode.
spoilers. No, he's
Everyone
great.
spoils everything.
Yeah, I know. It's
I already
shitty.
fucking know what happens in the show. I'm still liking it.
It's great. And he's in Spice World, too.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
I spoiled Mandalorian.
You sure
year.
did. You know what? Come to think of it, you're the fuck that spoiled it for me.
You guys. No, I'm glad I could finally talk to someone who watches that stupid show.
Oh my goodness.
You guys were spoiling things the entire season.
What do you mean, you guys?
Boba Fett showed up.
Yeah.
All of you posted about Boba
Who's
Fett.
all of you?
All the Mandalorian fans on my Facebook
I didn't.
feed.
No, I didn't post one damn thing. You know who did that? Assholes did that.
Okay, Crate Dragon showed up. I knew there was a Crate Dragon in it. Ahsoka Tano showed up. You guys couldn't stop talking about Ahsoka Tano. So I saw Mark Hamill's horrible CGI face, and I assumed because all of you Mandalorian fans kept talking about it all season that it was fair game to talk about it. I didn't know. I don't watch the show. That was my favorite defense. Like, this show just aired. Why would you do that? I'm like, I don't watch the show. I didn't know.
No, I know you don't know, but like people that were posting it just watched it like at 4 in the fucking morning, like when it first came out, and they were like, look at this.
By the way, that day, if you just Googled Luke Skywalker, was the first result.
I know.
So anyway.
Whatever.
Anyway, Richard E. Grant.
That's why we can't have nice things.
What?
It's fine.
Oh, wow. Disney's corporate product might not be whatever.
It was good.
Anyway.
Mandalorian's good. End of story.
No, it's not. Anyway.
It was good.
Dr. Seward's there.
Yes.
Okay.
Oceans of love. Oh, Jack, what's up? Oh, poor little baby.
And he trips over a fucking bear rug.
Trips over a bear rug.
Which makes it even funnier because there's a deleted scene where he cracks like a fucking amyl or something and like gets high before he walks in.
Yeah, okay. So this interpretation makes him like a drug addict. He's like a morphine addict and whatnot.
He's
not in the book.
I kind of like that wrinkle to his character because he works in an insane asylum, so he has to like be like, all right, like shoot me up so I can deal with these nuts.
Yes, and the audiobook that I listen to, Alec Cumming does his voice.
Oh.
And Tim Curry does Van Helsing. Oh. Not a lot of Van Helsing narrated stuff. I don't know when they recorded it. And
that's pretty interesting.
I like Tim Curry, but he sounds pretty rough in this. Yeah, you can hear a lot of his throat sounds. It's like,
when he's trying to do the accent in Congo.
Yeah,
is that what you mean?
The
lost city of Zen.
Yeah, and then lastly we get Arthur, played by Cary Elwes.
Cary Elwes, here he is. He's your Robin Hood.
Yes, he's a rich nobleman, I guess.
Yeah, this is before he cuts his foot off.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, Sir Holmworth. I love the guy who announces people.
Yeah.
Modern parties need that.
I wish, right?
Tony from Hack the Movie.
The thing is, we can't afford somebody to stand at the door and do that.
Well, one day.
Maybe you can. You're very famous.
Well, I keep saying I'm only famous and important. I'm not rich and famous.
There you go.
One day.
Patreon.com/hackthemovies
/movie dumpster. No, that doesn't help me. But I mean, do it anyway.
Maybe.
Also, watch every episode, even if it's a movie you don't care about. Just please watch the episode.
Just hit play, walk away, come back.
And then listen to the podcast and then buy a shirt.
That's even easier. Turn the volume down on your phone, hit play, walk away. I am totally busting your balls, dude. It's a very good show. I enjoy it. And I love Tony.
So Dracula's shadow made it to the party. He doesn't get announced. They should be like Dracula's shadow.
And Dracula's shadow from the boat that's 50 miles away.
And then he's not even on the boat yet.
No?
He's not on the boat yet. So Mina feels his presence, and then we get that creepy shot of his face, which is from an upcoming deleted scene.
Yeah.
When we watched the deleted scenes, we saw where they planted that.
Still works fine for this, though.
Yeah, we get to see a little bit of Dr. Seward talking to Renfield.
Yeah. Also, do you think? Okay, so we're shown the insane asylum.
Yeah.
Where it looks like where Freddy was conceived. Also, do you think this is the birthplace of the Jackal from 13 Ghosts?
Probably.
Yeah, I think
it's the same helmet.
He's walking around. He's hitting the.
But that would imply the Jackal is one of the guards. That raises a lot of questions. Well, because only the guards have the cage faces.
Well, who knows, man? Maybe when they were transporting him, they put that thing on his head. He was like, the 1700s Hannibal Lecter or something?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Probably. So he's talking about how, like, the master, he has to feed...
The
master! Yeah. He has to feed. He needs lives for the master. Because the master promised to make him immortal, but he has to bring him lives.
You're an idiot.
Renfield's doing a bad job of this.
He's in the insane asylum.
Yeah.
He's never going to get out. He's not doing anything except eating bugs.
Yeah.
And I love when Seward comes in, he's like, "Oh, care for an old dove." I love that. I love that.
Apparently, according to the commentary track, they cut a lot of this stuff out for like the TV versions.
Oh, why? Because like the insect eating?
I guess because it's creepy and for time and stuff.
Sure.
But you miss out on a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
He tries to eat Dr. Seward.
Yeah.
So the hand and mirror scene is incredible in the castle.
Oh,
what I imagine is they had a body double facing the camera.
It's the oldest trick in the book.
And it's a cutout with Keanu on the other side. It's funny when you listen to the commentary. Coppola's like, I don't remember how we did this. I'm like, I'm kind of figuring out.
Well, I watched the actual like effects feature.
Okay.
And Roman was like, yeah. So if you watch Marx Brothers movies, they do this all the time.
Yeah. And it's so cool to see the hand come up on him, but then he turns around and Dracula's just there.
Well, they do it in Evil Dead 2 as well.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, like when he's talking to himself in the mirror, he's like, I gotta get a grip of myself. And he's like, and he comes out of the mirror and chokes him.
Yeah. So Dracula's there.
Yeah.
Keanu cuts his throat on accident. and then Dracula's like, oh, let me take care of that. Apparently that was Gary Oldman's idea. To turn around and go...
It was beautiful.
It's on the cover of some DVDs, that creepy scene.
Dude, like that's a scene though that really sticks out like in a lot of people's minds though. They made speaking of Funko Pops, they made a fucking one where he has the razor blade.
That's great.
Yeah, my wife has it.
Yeah, so he's
big Dracula fan by the way, loves the book.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dracula Unbound, right?
Yes, of course. What other book would I be talking about? The Adventures of Joe Buchanan.
So yeah, Dracula starts shaving him. I love what
He's into it.
Huh?
He's into it.
He's into it. He's into it.
You are so sexy, Mr.
And
Keanu
as this is
Reeves.
happening,
I mean, Jonathan Harker.
Yeah, if you notice in this scene, the walls are closing in. The wall behind him.
Are they moving?
Yeah. The
And it
walls
makes it more like claustrophobic?
Yeah, the wall is like moving as he's having this whole creepy scene. And I think this is after he shattered the glass, the mirror, because he has no reflection.
Or he looks at it and it cracks and he's like, oh shit.
Yeah. But then...
That's still strange, but I'm not going to react to it, really.
No, what finally does it is when he sees the crucifix and freaks out. And then he's like, oh, you shouldn't put your faith in such trinkets. Our ways are not... He's like, our ways might seem strange. And Keanu finally snaps like, oh, I've seen strange things already. Bloody wolves chasing me through a blue inferno.
That's right, he does say that.
Yeah, and then right on cue, the fucking wolves start howling.
The children of the night. What music they make.
And then this is also from the book.
Such a great line. I mean,
it's actually a weird, it's kind of like, because Dracula's castle's just all over. It's constantly shifting and whatnot. So,
which is cool.
So outside of his window, it was just
David Bowie's there somewhere walking upside down.
So outside the window, it was just the sky.
Mm-hmm.
Dracula leaves. Mm-hmm. His shadow follows behind him.
Yeah.
I love
like later.
I love we see the robe leave, and then the shadow's like, wait for me.
Oh, wait a second.
And then we look out the window again, and suddenly, like, the window is facing down on another wall. It's real bizarre how they shot it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dracula is like climbing the walls like Spider-Man.
So creepy.
And I think they might have shot it in reverse because he's moving a little
They did
weird.
a lot of reverse photography in this.
Yeah. But that's just what Dracula does. Like, oh, the wolves are singing. It's time for me to crawl on the walls.
Maybe it was easier for him to go out the window and crawl around the castle to get to that other room instead of walking down all those fucking hallways, dude.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And he's crawling the walls in his fancy robe?
So what?
Gonna get dirty.
He's magic. Look, he has to keep the economy going in the Romani village so that people move there.
His contribution
is laundry
to the village. No, his contribution to the village to keep it economically running is to just not kill them.
No, but like he encourages them to have kids and stuff. Yeah. You know, like keep your lineage. Move to Transylvania right over here. It's very nice.
Oh yeah, and during this, he tells Harker to not go to certain points of the castle.
Like, very explicitly, too.
It's like, hey, I know I'm a weird, crazy guy, but you don't want to see some of the shit in here.
Which means you should probably listen to me.
I can't be around all day long. And
it's going to fall apart. Like, if I was Jonathan, I'd be worried about something falling on me. Or, like, falling through a floor or something. Maybe not a fucking, vampire seductress.
Yeah. At this point with the wall crawling, he's like, I should probably see what's in that side of the castle.
That's when you go to bed, right? With your eyes, one eye open all night, and you're just like, I'm just gonna go to sleep.
Yeah, so he investigates, and he finds like a thing of potions.
This is so cool when he opens the perfume. Is it a perfume bottle? I guess it's perfume.
It's either perfume or Dracula.
Essence of Bet.
It could be like Dracula's just like an alchemist that makes spells and potions.
Yeah, but just like in a bedroom? I mean, I guess wherever he wants to put it, he can.
I mean, fucking, this is the fucking Dracula castle. Who knows?
But yeah, how it drips up, I thought that was, it's always
And then
so
the
cool.
rats are climbing upside down. We have a different disembodied shadow just flying around.
And that's another double exposure where they shot the rats with like the special
that
matte
one
box
was,
and stuff. They rotated the whole camera around.
I know.
Incredible stuff. I can't stress that enough.
So yeah, this is the scene. The brides come out. Monica Bellucci's first. And we probably can't show a lot of this because they're just tits out.
But happy faces over them. Or like Dracula wolf faces over them? Maybe.
Jessica Slavovich put some Dracula faces over. If she's anything like Jessica back home, she will.
Yeah.
She censored fucking.
Even better. Put Keanu's face from the meme, the Bill and Ted meme going over the boobs.
She censored Lenny Kravitz's dick with our faces.
Lenny Kravitz his dick is in that movie?
No. Lenny Kravitz. He was
Kravitz. I thought you said Kravitz.
No. Lenny Kravitz, the singer, musician.
Kravitz. Yeah, it's not Kravitz.
Whatever.
He's not Lenny Kravitz.
In the Mad Max Fury Road review, we
He's
talked
in
about
that?
No, but his daughter is. But we ended up talking about how like there was some concert where he like split his pants and his dick fell out. So she censored it, but every time she censored it, she used a picture of me nude or Justin's face.
Oh, Lisa
So
Bonet.
anyway, Monica Bellucci comes out.
Yes.
She's the most beautiful woman I've ever seen.
More beautiful than Lisa Bonet? I don't think so.
Yes.
I don't think so.
So she comes out, and she's awesome. But the brides are like all naked. This movie is very, very horny.
Oh, it's sexy as hell.
Yeah, this movie has a boner. And I never noticed it until Blu-ray. But when
it's boner?
No.
Oh.
When they're biting him, like blood shoots out of his nipple.
Okay.
I never noticed that until Blu-ray.
You beat me to the punch, and that makes my fucking skin crawl. Like it always has.
Yeah.
Where like she like, hits him with a fang right in the nipple and it just shoots out. And she's lapping it up like a fucking water fountain. Ew.
So gross. So gross. Yeah, so Dracula comes out. And he's like, hey, you ladies.
The way he enters, he's like,
It's all reverse.
Yeah. Oh,
So
yeah,
he
that's right.
throws one on the wall, and then the other ones are like a spider.
They walk away like some kind of Hobbs End eldritch horror.
Yeah. Like they're Spider Lady now.
Yeah.
And they do the spider thing later on, but it got cut out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was in that deleted scene we watched.
Oh,
But
was
yeah,
that? Okay,
I'm gonna build
I didn't
up to
realize.
that deleted scene.
Gotcha.
So yeah, Dracula's yelling at them like, "How dare you touch him? He's mine." But
What are we to eat, Dracula?
yeah, I love wait. He's like, "How dare you touch him? He's mine." And then the one just goes, "You've never loved." He's just like, it's like, oh god, bringing that up out of nowhere. Like,
You know
so,
what?
it's
I
nice
did, matter of fact.
It's nice to know that even Dracula, with all his powers, has the same goddamn arguments I've had with girlfriends. Where like, I yell at them for one thing. I'm like, hey, you messed up doing this. And then they bring up a completely unrelated thing. And I'm like, even Dracula can't escape it.
And it's for a fucking eternity, dude. Imagine that.
I told you not to touch my guy. You've never loved before. Oh,
There you go again, bringing it up.
oh yeah, all right, well, we love this topic. Okay, come on. Again,
Meanwhile-
this will all be explored in Tony from Hack the Movies, Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Meanwhile, this child is just somewhere under his robe, and they're having an argument.
okay.
No, sorry.
So so he's like, I will love again.
Yes. Wink.
They're like, us? He's like, no.
No.
Not if you keep bringing up.
Not if you drain.
I'll take the
Jonathan
goddamn
Harker.
trash out. I won't forget. Stop reminding me. You forgot. I know.
Unload the dishwasher.
So they're like, are we going to eat nothing tonight? And he's like, oh, that's okay. And he just pulls out a baby. And they start ripping apart the baby. You don't see it.
No, but like he might as well have like pulled out like a snack pack. You know what I mean? Like, here you go.
Was it in a pocket?
I don't know.
Or was it just sitting behind him?
Do you think there's a pocket dimension inside the cloak?
Apparently, fucking Optimus Prime has a pocket
Yeah,
dimension.
exactly. It's possible. Yeah, he reaches in and Optimus is like, here you go, Dracula. And he gives him the baby? Maybe.
Reminder, if it's still not fixed, the glitch, you can find our episodes that glitched or were taken down on Odyssey right now. We are backing up because the Transformers episode got glitched.
Go watch Odyssey.
Or listen to the podcast.
Or both.
Or hopefully it's fixed by now. Probably not going to get fixed because I
Well,
don't trust YouTube.
Well, that's
Anyway,
fine.
Oh, so yeah, here is where little Tony was watching, and this was a little too much for him. It wasn't even gory or violent, but just the concept of a baby being ripped apart after seeing something way too sexual. And like, so I'm like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
I'm watching this super erotic scene, which
Erotic
then,
violent scene.
yeah, which then becomes very violent. And I don't know why I never had a fetish after that. You ever see those? No offense if you are, but the people who like to like cut themselves and stuff.
Oh no, I'm not into that. No.
Yeah.
And you know what?
You're just saying that because the camera's like,
No, like I'm totally into like vampire chicks.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But like when it comes to like actual mutilation and blood and shit, and I'm a big horror, obviously. But no,
I'm glad it didn't have that effect.
No. It never. No, that's gross.
I've known guys who dated girls that were like into the razor blades and stuff. I'm like, nah, I'm good.
No,
I'm good.
No. Sorry.
So and then the baby's being ripped apart. The guy, Keanu Reeves is screaming.
Finally,
and then
he finally reacts.
Yeah. And then the Dracula's laughing at this, and then it closes. And I remember my mom being like, looking at me and realizing it was just too much, and her turning off the TV there. And then
that's it. The movie's over. The review is done.
So in my head, I'm like, that's just how the movie ended. That was pretty. I don't really know what we learned here. A guy went to a castle, weird stuff happened, then a baby died, and the dude laughed. But it had an effect on me. Like I thought about the movie so much as a young kid. When I finally was able to watch it in full, like I fell in love with it because all I could think about was him laughing and clapping.
It also might be a testament to like the filmmaking, too. Like those scenes stuck with you for a reason. I mean, the content, but like I think the way they're portrayed, though.
Yeah,
you know,
it's amazing. Yeah. It's horrifying.
It's scary as hell.
It's way better than Bela Lugosi going like, "Ooh, I'm gonna." And I love Bela Lugosi.
No, I love him too.
But
I love him too. But like again, like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of that movie.
This scene is a little weird. Jonathan Harker is spying on the gypsies. He's like a prisoner now. Dracula has gypsies. I don't know. I guess he pays them in gold. There's plenty of gold.
Excuse me,
around.
Romani.
They're called gypsies in the movie.
Romani.
Can I not say gypsy?
Romanian.
I can't say gypsy.
Romanian. No, you can. I don't care. You can say
okay.
I'm just fucking with you.
I will talk to you, gypsy.
Listen, see you later, gypsy.
So the gypsies are there, and they're loading boxes with dirt.
Yes.
And Keanu's like, why do they fill these boxes with earth?
Are they going to organic restaurants or what?
So this scene has always stuck out to me as being weird.
Mm-hmm.
So Keanu Reeves goes up to the coffin.
Yeah.
Dracula has a metal coffin full of gears and springs.
It's so cool, though. It really is cool. It's like a sarcophagus, like with his armor on top.
It's cool, but then Dracula just pops out, and there's a scream. And I never knew what happened there. I'm like, did Dracula see him? Did he pop out? Like, did Harker hide? How did that scene end? That was a weird scene. There's a deleted scene. I believe him escaping later is worked in this. So he's trying to escape.
That was part of the whole deleted scene. They put that scene in later, and then they put this scene
where
here.
he's like climbing and then he falls,
which is great because
which they use later. But instead of falling in the water, before he falls in the water, he like hovers and lands in place.
Yeah, it's really cool because of the way that they do the shot, where it's like the set is like this, and he's lying down, kind of like the Batman thing, where they turn the camera, kind of. And like he's like walking the stone wall, and then when he falls off the side, it's like he just slides down the other way instead of falling down. It's really cool.
So he like hovers around, which is cool. But so he like pieces together. He's like, well, he sleeps during the day. Maybe I can kill him then. And he finds the sarcophagus and he like peeks in, and that's where we see the shot of like Dracula just like all creepy.
Yeah.
He goes.
Is there always a crack in his coffin? Like, what if the sun comes in?
I think it's like a stylized thing. Well, the sun doesn't hurt him.
We'll get to that.
Yeah. But then the sarcophagus opens, and like Dracula's like laughing and stuff, and the brides grab him.
Yeah. So
like that made more sense, but like when you watch it in the movie, you're like, I'm not sure what happened there.
Right.
Yeah.
It just
kind of reminds me of in The Exorcist, that scene where she like crawls down the stairs.
Oh, the spider walk?
Or even like the head turning scene and like how the scenes just end afterwards. It's like, did they turn her head back? Or like, were they just sitting there being like, honey, you okay? You done vomiting blood? Like they just cut away because they didn't know how to end the scene.
They're just like, because it's supposed to be shocking, you know what I mean? And I guess, I mean, less so here as far as The Exorcist goes, but yeah.
Yeah. So I'm glad I now know what the fuck happened in that scene, how it was supposed to be.
Yeah, it's fine.
We get an awesome montage of the Demeter coming to England. This is Anthony Hopkins' second character as the captain of the Demeter. We never see him.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, we never see him, but he's the voice of it.
He does the voiceover, yeah.
Because remember, Dracula, the book, is a series of journals and writings that are being arranged by the hunting party to like track like where Dracula's terror started and where he could possibly go. So it's like at some point in the book, they're like, all right, we have to get all our diaries together and make a timeline. And the book you're reading is the timeline that they made.
It's like a fucking tabletop RPG, man.
Yes. So it's like this character's reading this section of the story. This character's reading that section. And this movie kind of does that with them narrating like their different perspectives.
Right.
So Anthony Hopkins is the voice of the Demeter captain. He's talking about how like there's a lot of people like being eaten on the boat. That's a little messed up.
Whatever. I'm just driving the ship.
Yes, and he's turning into his wolf form during this whole time in the amniotic fluid. It's real creepy.
Oh yeah, he's all like wet and gross in his little box. Yeah.
Yeah. So while that's happening, the girls, they see creepy eyes in the sky and they're scared.
Yeah.
But then they're frolicking in the rain. Then they make out.
They're 20-year-olds.
You're right. I made out with a lot of my friends when I was 20.
Well, you didn't.
Huh?
I said, well, you didn't.
No, I did.
I'm sure. Oh, you did.
Oh, I did.
Okay, there you go.
I was like, hey, what's up, bro? And they're like, yeah, man, what's up?
You're a hot dude. I'm a hot dude.
It's 2010. We're singing that G6 song. Let's make out. And I'm like, yeah. It's 2010. I'm going to make out. I'm 20. Woo.
I've read that it was because they were hypnotized by Dracula, but it's like, all right.
His hypnotism has a far range, doesn't it?
He's just like, I want you to fuck now. Or kiss. Look, I'm masturbating in my box. Can you kiss in the hedge maze?
So he must have eaten enough people that he can like transform. So he's turning into the wolf.
Maybe he's stronger now.
Yes.
Maybe that's the thing.
So he turns into the wolf.
Yeah.
And there was a deleted scene with a Texas switch.
Oh God, he's wearing a Technicolor dream coat.
Yeah. So the Texas switch is when an actor or a stuntman goes behind something and the actual actor comes out, or vice versa. We talked about it a little bit in the Mummy review. So in the deleted scene, it's Dracula. He kills someone spots him, and he's like mid-wolf. He's wearing his gold robe that he wears later.
He's like mid-back, kind of. Like
he's like,
he's like, I don't know. Why does he do that, though?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead. Finish.
And then he walks behind the wall, and then it's the same robe, but with the wolf mask. Like, I'm like, that looks stupid.
Dude, he grabs this guy, and this explosion of blood comes out of the thing. It's pretty cool.
Oh, no, that's when he gets to the dock in the deleted scene. So they get to the dock.
Yeah.
And you see like a wolf shadow fly past. And that's how it is in the theatrical cut. In the deleted scene, you see the wolf shadow pass, and these guys are on the dock going like, what was that? And then the wolf man picks him up. But he doesn't like bite him. He just slams him and blood shoots out. You're like, what the fuck was that? And while this is happening, a wolf does escape from the zoo.
It does, yeah.
Just walks right through the bars.
Sure does.
In the book, I think it's implied Dracula let him out to kind of be like a red herring for his killing spree.
Red herring for his killing spree, and also like semi-protector as well.
Yes, because he does have command over like animals and stuff.
Sure, and the weather too.
Huh?
And the weather.
And the weather, he turned into mist and whatnot. But I think like the wolf escaping from the zoo specifically is to be like, oh, there was another killing, must have been the wolf.
Yeah.
Serves a different purpose in this film. So he escapes, and then he hypnotizes Lucy, she can't even like sleep without being sexy. She's wearing like a fucking tight ass corset.
Her fucking breast is out all the time. Whenever the Dracula comes around, that titty is always hanging out.
And she's got like the red scarf. I'm like, I can't be comfortable to sleep in. A tight ass corset and a like weird scarf. Like, what are you doing, lady?
That material's got to be itchy, right? Like on your body. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Dracula is...
he's wolf dorking her on the fucking bench out there, man.
He is seducing her, and then...
seducing her.
Yes. Mina spots them.
He's banging her.
Yeah.
And he's biting her.
Mina spots them, and I love this part. He has, like, predator vision. I can see all of her veins.
And, it's like, boom, 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 boom.
And there's this part's awesome when he's like, no, do not see me.
No, do not see me.
Do not see me.
But like, for like a split second, his old face pops, like his living face pops up when he was like the warrior. He's like, do not see me. It's like regular face back to the monster face. So he's able to erase her memory of that.
Which is kind of neat.
Which he can do. Because in the book, when they find him with Mina, he says like, she has no record of it in her diary, but he's just like, oh yeah, I've done this before to you. And it's like, oh, that's just a thing that can happen, I guess.
There's a lot of underlying tones there.
Yeah. So it's so unsettling when Lucy's just like, I don't know what happened. I'm sad. And they're taking her up she's taking her up the stairs, but then the camera zooms out and Dracula's just there. And he's like if they had just turned, he would have just been there.
Man, so it's like it's storming and lightning out.
Yeah.
And when that lightning cracks that first time and you see the wolf face, it is fucking terrifying.
Yes.
Yeah, anyway.
It's really
He's like Sasquatch wolf.
So the next day, the boxes are unloaded at Carfax Abbey. Now in the book,
Carfax.
Yeah. Show me the Carfax.
Yes, yeah, get it?
So they mentioned he was buying 10 properties, and in the book, he has the boxes go to different properties. But for convenience sake, this movie, they only made it to the one property.
Yeah.
Someone made an error. And I assume whenever we don't see Dracula, he's at like the dock.
The other one's like, hey, where are my boxes?
No, he's at the dock and he's like, you sons of bitches, we're supposed to deliver to this. I want a man out there right now. I'm being very upset. Now, if you don't mind, I got to turn into green mist.
Well, see ya.
Guy's very
he doesn't
upset.
turn into a bat in this movie.
Huh?
He doesn't turn into a bat in this movie.
Yeah, he does.
Well, you know what I mean.
But by that logic, he doesn't turn into a wolf. Turns into a wolf
This
man.
is true, yeah.
Which I like.
Batman, Wolfman.
Which I like, which there's action figures
Oh,
of
look at
here.
them,
I
yeah.
unboxed these a long time ago.
Yeah, they're really cool.
So yeah, we find out that vampires, like any other night creature, this is, by the way, this is being narrated by Van Helsing, who we haven't met yet.
Yes, the vampire is whatever.
So this is in the book. He can move around in the daytime.
Yeah.
He just doesn't have all his powers.
Right.
It's better for him to sleep during the daytime, but if he wants, he can. He'll have some power, but he's not going to be able to like whip up a storm or anything like that.
No, I mean, he still has all of his like suave, like hypnotizing powers for sure. And he can still command animals as well.
Yes.
But he's definitely in a weakened state.
Yes.
Yeah.
But now he's young and sexy, and he explodes out of his box.
He explodes out of his box, you know.
I'm
on the prowl for Winona Ryder.
We see him wandering the streets of London, and this is shot on an old-timey hand crank camera.
That was specifically a camera out of Coppola's collection that like shot like old silent films like Buster Keaton shit and Charlie Chaplin stuff.
Yeah, and it works really, really well. It's a good way to
so
establish,
cool.
because this movie, because like I said, making it like the early 1900s, they want to establish like what the world was at that. So in the book, it's just them writing their diaries and stuff. But this movie includes the phonograph, the little Morse code typewriters, shit like that.
Which was
the
all
book
like,
does have a typewriter,
which was
but
all like cutting edge for the time.
Yes.
So that was
and he wanted to incorporate what you call it, like the technology with like film and stuff at this point.
I love the idea of Dracula walking around and be like, I invented that. You know? Like, oh, look, they're using my inventions. Or they modified my old thing and made that. Great.
So yeah, he's walking around and he sees Mina. And he's like, see me.
See me.
See me like this because I'm handsome now.
I'm not the scary wolf man.
I'm not the wolf man having sex with your friend, raping and biting your friend.
See me. I also love when he buys the paper, and the paper in the reflection is just hovering.
Now, I thought that was CG.
No,
it's like dudes have the strings, and the paper, and it's awesome.
It's easy
so
to
cool.
cover up because it's in a reflection.
I know, but it's really neat. Like it's super effective.
I also love when she drops something and the camera pans down, his hand is already there to catch it, and then it pans up and it's already back up.
Yeah, it's very
so
cool.
yeah, he's got weird shit like that. So he's trying to be like, oh, I'm just a humble foreigner in your land, and I want to know where the cinematogram is.
Where's movie place?
Yes.
It's not called movie yet.
And she's like real mean to him. She's like, buy a street map. Oh, you want culture? Go to a fucking museum. Leave me alone.
Do you know any good?
I'm married. I'm lying, but I'm married.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did not know you were married. And then Winona Ryder's like, well, not really. Sorry I offended you. Wait, you're a prince?
Yeah.
Yes,
does a
Prince
total
Vlad
fucking
Dracula.
180 there.
Jonathan. While Jonathan's away, the cat will play.
So yeah, this is when the movie really starts to veer off the path of the book, when the love stuff starts between them two.
I think it's fine. It's a fine addition though, and I think it's written pretty well.
Because like in the book, they do not have scenes together. Well, apparently Dracula was seeing her, but we don't know in what context.
Right.
But until like everyone else walks in on them, like him like feeding her and whatnot, they don't really have any stuff together.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned to me that like in the book, Dracula just kind of takes them by happenstance, right? Like Lucy.
Yeah, I think Lucy's just.
It's just like, oh, that's a victim.
Because like I guess because it was close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's that weird thing too, where he's like trying to establish like more vampires.
Yeah.
Like his little army.
Well, that could be a thing where like he reads Renfield's mind, and Renfield knows about Lucy.
This is
through
also
Dr.
true.
Seward and whatnot.
Yeah, I guess so.
In the book, yeah.
Yeah.
Lucy's, I mean, Mina's not even around for a lot of like Lucy's like sickness and whatnot, but here she's there the whole time.
But she's my best friend.
She's my best friend.
She's my best friend. It's my best rich friend that lets me stay in her giant mansion.
And speaking of Lucy, she's becoming really, really sick.
Yeah.
And Dr. Seward tells Arthur, he's like, I'm going to call Van Helsing.
Yeah, she's crazy.
Yeah.
And
he's like, I'm going to call Van Helsing. He could specialize in this. And then Carrie Elways is just like, tell him to bring his rotating blade gauntlets and his crossbow gun.
Oh my God. You're full of holy water.
And then he's like, oh no, that's Gabriel Van Helsing. This is Dr. Abraham Van Helsing.
That's a
He's
couple
like,
years later.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
It's the London assignment, the other one happening.
So the Nickelodeon's pretty cool. Also, at some point when they were in the London streets, they go by the Lyceum Theater, which is where Bram Stoker like worked.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he worked at the
didn't know
Lyceum
that.
Theater.
That's so
So
cool.
it's there. So like you can imply that Bram Stoker's just one of those people, maybe.
I mean, he could be, yeah.
And he looked at a guy who looked like Gary Oldman. He's like, looks like a weird guy. Probably a vampire. Gonna write a book about it.
Joe Buchanan was there.
Joe Buchanan
with
was-
Bram Stoker, and he was like, look at that weird guy over there. Look at him. He looks like a vampire.
You're
And
currently writing a book about him.
Aren't you writing that book, Dracula?
Again.
Do you want to have sex, Bram Stoker? Because we can.
Again, if you don't get that joke, go back and watch our Frankenstein Unbound review.
Yes.
It's one of the greatest movies I've ever seen.
It's where the timeline starts.
Yeah. So yeah, the Nickelodeon's really cool. They're playing like old film from that era.
It's so cool. Yeah, like the train
Which
one.
is good to know that they had just nudie films back then. It
Uh,
didn't
well,
take them long.
Yeah, but it's like 10 seconds, right?
Yeah.
It's like these two chicks in like their underwear and they disappear. It's like that switcheroo thing.
Yeah.
And it's like a chick. Like,
We
like
see
his
we see
wife.
the train coming.
the train.
We see like a little poster for Thomas Edison.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, oh wow, this is amazing. And Mina's just like, oh, this is stupid.
What do you mean? I invented this.
He should be like, hey lady, I've been in a castle for 600 years with the same three broads giving me shit all the time.
Can you shut up while I watch this film?
All the time.
Even though it's silent?
I just tried to watch my puppet shadows. And they're like, Dracula, did you feed the dog? And I'm like, yes, I fed the children of the night. Get off my back about it.
Are you playing that damn killing puppet show again?
So please, lady, let me just enjoy the moving picture show, okay?
Whoa, the train's coming at me.
Do you think Dracula told the brides? He's like, oh yeah, I'm going to settle down and I'll send for you later. Just like,
Probably, but they can read his mind too, right? Can't they see what he sees? If Mina can, they should be able
he
to.
limits what they can.
He puts like a fucking V chip on.
Because
him?
he's in charge.
Yeah.
Like, they're like kind of his underlings, so.
Oh, 100%.
They don't have the same powers as him.
I would say
I don't
even
think
stronger.
I don't think he's given them the freedom.
We skipped the part where they were able to melt the crucifix off of Jonathan Harker's neck.
Right, and he wasn't.
Yeah.
But I also think he didn't want to display that much power yet. It was more important for him to crawl on the wall.
Yeah, right. And John like questioned his own sanity. Yeah.
That could be like a thing where he's like, maybe he's old because he like that month he was giving them all the food.
You think that's what happened to Renfield? He saw him crawling on the side of the castle and went fucking crazy. And he's like, all right, get him out of here.
He's just sending him back to London.
And nobody's gonna believe him anyway. They put him in a mental hospital.
Yeah. During the Nickelodeon.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry. Yeah.
Dracula like kind of puts her in a trance. Also, we see the paper soldiers from the opening as special
Yes,
effect.
yeah.
And he's about to like bite her and you assume make her a vampire, but he can't go through with it.
Broad daylight. Now, this is the first time that he's like, okay, you're beautiful. You look like my old bride. I bite you. But it's never like he 100% hypnotizes her here. But throughout the rest of the course of this movie, he wants her to make the decision based on her own accord.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want to like trick her, rather.
Yeah.
But I'm not 100% certain that that is exactly what's going on.
Well, he's also evil. Yeah, no, I think the movie's implying that maybe reincarnation is real.
Even so, but she knows him as deja vu, and like, wow, he's a handsome.
She's like, who are you? I know you.
Yeah, but he's a handsome foreign guy. You know what I mean?
That's Gary Oldman.
It's also Gary Oldman, and he has a way better accent than Keanu Reeves does.
Yeah, but I think it's just like, oh, I love her so much. I don't want. He says later, I don't want to condemn you to eternal death.
He says that right before he.
Yeah.
Does the whole,
Yeah. But,
no, don't. Okay.
So his way out of it is just have the wolf show up and scare everyone.
Because as you know, all women love puppers.
They love puppers.
There you go.
Women turn off this movie in the beginning when they see the dead pupper on the crucifix.
Oh,
they were like, nope, not for me. The doggos. So they start petting the wolf.
Meet my wild dog.
Yeah, they like pet the wolf and calm it down. And it's like at some point, a cop probably came and they were like, a wolf, bang.
It's also the thing of like they're also like touching each other's hands while they're petting the dog, and it's like, look, we're using this to like touch each other.
Dog's like, I feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, the dog's like, can we stop this now?
Yeah.
The dog, the fucking wolf, like this giant wolf.
Lucy is like falling apart.
Oh, she's got like patches of like rigor mortis and shit happening on her face.
Yeah.
She's in a bad way big time.
And we finally get to see Van Helsing doing a lecture on like blood diseases like syphilis.
In fact, civilization and civilization have advanced together.
Civilization and civilization.
Get it? I made a funny.
Yes. And
do you know about syphilis and the vampire bat?
Here's the thing though. How do I know that's Van Helsing? They should accompany him by the Van Helsing theme from the Hugh Jackman movie.
Well, there you go. There's an edit waiting for you to happen.
As he's talking about like syphilis is bad.
I'm hungry.
Blood. Diseases of the blood. Such as syphilis. Concern us here.
I do like when they clap.
Oh, yeah, the knocking?
They knock.
Yeah.
So the movie has to remind you that Harker exists. So they cut to him just being drained by the brides.
His hair is starting to turn white now at this point.
They have to like keep him alive long enough so he doesn't die, just so they can drain him again. But you have to keep him as weak as possible.
Why don't they just do that for the rest of the villages? Remember we were just saying that like, oh, he ate everybody, and it's like, just take somebody and drain them.
They're
like
giving the village a break to pop out some babies.
This is also true, but they could just have that slave that they're just draining a little bit every day.
That's what they do in True Blood. There's like what do they call them? Like their familiars or something, or
they're I don't know. No, familiar is it familiar?
No,
familiars like do their bidding.
Yeah,
in the daylight.
In True Blood, they got like people that will do it for.
Yeah, they're just like sickos.
Yeah,
they'll turn me eventually. I don't think so. But
Van Helsing shows up to the mansion right as Dracula's drinking Lucy's
a
blood.
Cigar like where's Lucy?
Yeah. Dracula's like a shadow. I like that the shadow drips blood.
Oh, it's so cool. Yeah.
So
as he goes out the fucking window and
they do a blood transfusion.
How does
nothing is sterilized. And then also, I don't know if they knew about blood types back then, but I guess all this works.
Well, Eward's like, is that his name, right? Eward?
Seward's
like, he's like, oh, this is brand new process. We don't know if this is going to work. And he's like, it's good to work. Shut your mouth. Where's Carrie Elwes?
I love Carrie Elwes shows up.
He's like, are you mad?
He's like, I'll give my last blood drop for her. And he's like, your last drop, huh? We don't need that. Not yet.
No, he's like, good. You can stick around. You can stay here. Sit down. Take off your coat.
So in the novel, Van Helsing's really trying to investigate what happened to Lucy. Like, he doesn't know.
Sure.
And he's like throughout the thing, he's definitely doing his own investigation separate from like Seward and whatnot.
Yeah.
And like it isn't until like way later, like after Lucy's dead, he's like, okay, so here's what I think happened. I think she's a vampire and you're gonna have to go with me. And he does a lot of convincing. This movie, it's literally this scene, and then the next scene, he's like, yeah, there's probably like magic and monsters going on.
Yeah, she's a vampire. You're a man of science.
Yeah.
Mr. Seward.
I don't know if he says vampire yet, but he jumps to the whole like, oh yeah, what we're doing is something unnatural. There's a monster out there.
He sees the neck and he goes, Nosferatu, to himself. And I'm like,
has he had any confirmation that these things exist other than reading that book?
Well, he says in a throwaway scene where like in a little while, Dracula conjures a storm and blows all the candles out, and he's like, yeah, that's right, he's a vampire. I've been talking about this for years.
He's like, I've hunted all my life. I'm like, you have? Even when you went to school to be the blood doctor?
Maybe that's why.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah, he's like, the blood, the sanguination, the vampire bat that bites things, syphilis.
Yes. So this movie really speeds that part up.
Yeah.
Like, and I love how he disappears and reappears at one point.
What is that about? Magic Ninja Van Helsing?
Yeah, he's a big fan of Twisted, I guess.
Didn't see that coming, did you? Now you listen to me. You know that the vampire is real because I
waited for you to look away and then I ran behind a thing.
I disappeared, reappeared. I was magic.
I'm like Batman. I'm like, who's Batman? Like, oh, he'll be made in like 30, 40 years.
We're going to encounter one in about 30 minutes.
Yeah. Let me see. Dracula and Mina fall more in love. They're at the weird restaurant with the people dancing outside the window, which I'm going to call back to.
Like, again, like, it's just him hypnotizing her.
Yeah.
Is this the absinthe scene?
Yes.
Okay.
Absinthe, the green fairy.
Can I fucking debunk that real quick?
Okay.
Absinthe is not hallucinogenic.
Okay.
There it is. And if I'm not mistaken, the component that was supposed to be hallucinogenic is thujone or thuhone, whatever it's called, which is in wormwood, but it's also in oregano. And I want to ask you a question. How many times of eating your grandmother's sauce and spaghetti sauce, how many bowls of that did it take you to get fucked up?
My Italian grandmother?
Yeah.
Okay, well, she died before I was born, so 0.
Well, I'm sure your father makes your grandmother's sauce.
Probably.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay, still 0.
What do you mean 0?
I never got fucked up from oregano.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know how many? Yeah, I was gonna say you're not tripping balls off.
It's just you threw me off with the grandmother thing.
Oh, well, sorry.
I never even met my Italian grandmother.
Well, I still call it my grandmother's sauce, even though she's not around because it's her recipe. Anyway.
Oh, you know what? My good friend Trisha from Trisha's Italy brings up all the time. Fucking Italians don't say gravy. Where did that start?
We did.
Really?
And I caught myself like 3 times because I was gonna say, yeah, my grandmother's gravy.
Is it just American Italians?
The way, look. My grandmother and my grandfather used to say gravy and like pass it down to my aunts and uncles.
Italy?
Yeah. My grandfather was from Naples and my grandmother was from Sicily.
Yeah, no, my dad never said gravy. No one in my family ever said gravy. And they're from Italy. They're off the boat.
From what I understand, that was the American terminology that they came across for sauce.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like the translation from this to this, like ragu is the sauce, isn't it, in Italian? Or am I crazy?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. No, I've never met...
And they're like, great gravy? And they're like, oh, yeah, gravy.
Also, absinthe, when I learned from the commentary, it's like the reason it was banned was because it was too big of a competitor for like wine and shit.
Oh, no, but that's why it was banned. But they said like, oh, it's hallucinogenic and it's, you know, it's...
Same thing happened to weed.
Same, exactly.
Like, oh, no, it's bad for you. It's like, well, so is this other thing. It's like, well, it's more bad for you.
And now I feel like people seek out absinthe and it's like, if you're seeking out absinthe, you really gotta like licorice, man, or else you're not gonna like it.
It's like it's like whatever it did 100 years ago, it probably isn't gonna do the same. It's like you're not drinking Coca-Cola with cocaine.
This is also true, but I've had like French ones that are based on the exact same recipes, like from them. And it's good. I mean, it's delicious to drink, but it doesn't make you trip balls. It gets you drunk as shit, like if you have too much, but you shouldn't even... Anyway, I know people that take shots of fucking
absinthe. You shouldn't drink
because
because it makes Jesus cry.
That's right. You'll turn into Dracula.
You'll turn into a Dracula.
Yeah. If you drink too much absinthe.
So yeah, he's talking about his country, and it's like, oh, it's a beautiful land, the land beyond the pines or whatever.
She's falling asleep. Yeah.
She's like, what about the princess? And he's like, oh, she died.
Wait a second.
And the whole time, the shadows are just people dancing outside the window.
But like,
it's like, wow, that's a really quiet room.
Foreshadowing.
And then he turns her tears into diamonds.
That's a cool scene. I actually really like that.
But this is where like the Keanu thing happens. She's not like, what the fuck?
Oh,
did you just have those diamonds on you? Where'd the fucking diamonds come from?
I'm not going to question it. Are we rich yet? I want to marry you and be rich so I can compare with your rich friend.
So yeah, that I think he takes her home in front of the miniature house.
So awesome.
Yes, and then while that's happening,
that's all forced perspective.
Yeah, that is. And then while that's happening, the brides just had that night off, and Harker's able to escape.
Yeah, I guess.
They cut out like earlier in the movie. He found all of Dracula's like gold in the one area,
the doubloons,
and in the extended cut, he goes to a nunnery. or a
A
convent.
nunnery? Like, do they make nuns there?
It's like in Hamlet. Get thee to a nunnery.
Get thee to a nunnery
so
quickly.
he goes
very
to the
close to
convent.
the castle, by the way.
Yes. He goes to the convent and gives them like the gold to let him in.
We shall build a nunnery. No, sorry.
But we watched the extended version of what his original escape was.
Oh my God.
So while Dracula's dancing with Mina, fucking Jonathan, the brides are chasing him down the stairs. He's got 2 sticks and he makes a cross and goes, ugh!
He's got 2 giant spiked pikes.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh.
He's like, ugh! And then he runs out the front door. I'm like, that was his original escape?
It's not even locked. You know what I mean? He just runs out the door and the brides are like, dang. We're going to go attack Van Helsing later, but we'll just let him run out and see you later.
So I'm glad they changed it,
Yes.
because that part's stupid.
Because it's really dumb.
So the nuns write a letter to Mina. They're like, your husband's alive.
I love this.
Yeah.
Because they're just like, hello, Mrs. Mina. By the way, Jonathan Harker came to us and he wants you to come to Budapest and marry him immediately. And she's like, yes. Oh, wait a second. But what about Prince Vlad?
Oh, my prince.
Oh, my prince.
Jonathan must never know.
What he won't know or what he doesn't know won't hurt him.
But Lucy is turning more into a vampire.
She sure is. She's got the fucking holes in her neck.
She got the fangs coming out the top of her mouth.
Why do Gary Oldman's and the brides come out of their actual canines, and why is their teeth above their actual teeth?
Because they're still growing. I guess it will replace.
They're gonna push them out?
Yes.
But that doesn't make any sense because they're like above her 2 front teeth.
Magic.
Whatever. I mean, I just thought that was silly. Like people who are turned, I guess that happens to.
Yeah. Well,
whatever.
remember, she's still like transitioning into being a vampire.
Whatever.
But yeah, she puts the garlic around. They put garlic around her, and she does not like that.
Oh, she can't breathe, which I liked.
Yeah. Yeah. And
instead of it like burning her or anything, it's like making her have like an asthma attack.
And she tries to kill Quincy.
Oh yeah, Quincy almost gets his ass handed to him like 3 times.
Yeah, but she shouldn't.
Well,
because the power of God is on his side.
she's
God
like,
bless
she's
America.
like, come here, my big Texan, and get between my legs. And he's like, well, all right, then I'll kiss you, maybe. Anyway, she tries to bite him, and Van Helsing's like, vampire!
Yeah. So they're still trying to like calm her down. So
we failed to mention that like she's getting married to Carrie Elwes like the next day.
Yes.
And she's got this big stupid like Dilophosaurus bride bridal dress, wedding dress on.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Did Van Helsing bring the vampire book with him just in case, or did he just go to a library and get a book on vampires?
I mean, I feel like somebody as learned as him has access to like the libraries and shit there. So maybe there's tomes.
So the Book of Vampires has an entry on Dracula?
Dracula. I wrote it. Van Helsing.
Dracula wrote it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And they have that picture of Vlad Tepes that you've seen in other things.
Yeah. Which I guess if Dracula's bored, like that's what he did, right? He like wrote his own biography.
Yeah, probably.
And he's like, the vampire, but I won't tell you how to kill them.
You can't kill them. Don't even
They're
try.
impossible to kill.
Even if you think of killing them, you'll die.
You missed. Dog, I turn into a wolf.
So I never noticed this before today.
Yes.
We see the picture of Vlad sitting next to all the people impaled.
Yeah.
Cross dissolves to him at the table.
Yeah.
Did you notice the shadows behind him?
I did not.
The shadows that are usually people dancing are the impaled people.
Oh.
But when he gets the letter about Mina dumping him, they suddenly get up and start dancing.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
But at first, they're like impaled. They have like sticks, and then they like come to life, and it's just like, oh, that is like creepy. I didn't know about that.
Are we getting to that right now? Where he gets the letter?
Yes.
Mina dumps him, and he's like, "Oh, sad boy." But like,
that face,
dude, he's like half transformed, and I finally just put it together in my head because like he fucking looks like something.
Yeah.
I know he looks like something. He looks like in Sleepwalkers.
Oh,
the
the cat people.
Yeah, when the kid is dying, the guy from Charmed, he's like, "Oh, my face is so hot." Like when he's on the couch, that's what his fucking face looks like when he's like, "Ah!" Like when he's in the candles and he's crying and shit. Isn't he crying blood?
I always think he's crying blood, but it looks like purple.
Whatever.
Anyway,
bat juice.
Anyway, Vince.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Vince.
And then this was what we were talking about, Van Helsing like screaming.
And then the Dracula, the vampire, is here's the book of the vampires. Oh, he blew the fucking candles out. Now I can't see what I'm doing, but it was a vampire.
And he's excited.
Oh, yeah.
He's not horrified.
He's like, it's finally happening.
He's like, yay.
I'm going to go trick these idiots into coming with me to kill a vampire.
If my parents were still alive, I'd give them I told you so. Yeah, so he's all like, yeah, Lucy's the daughter of the devil. And he's dry humping Quincy.
Oh,
and
my
then he's
yes.
like,
when he grabs Quincy by the waist and he's like, yes, we're going to kill your whore of a whatever friend or whatever.
And then he's like, okay, anyway, I got to eat first. Goodbye.
Oh, yeah, he's like, I hunger.
Lucy, Dracula's pissed now.
Oh, yeah.
And he's got to take it out on someone.
Yeah.
So he, like, murders Lucy to death. He does the whole, like, I condemn you to a living death, and you need to feed on blood.
Yeah, but was that not the original plan to turn her into a vampire?
It was. I think he sped it up.
Oh, he was just like, fuck you.
Because he was angry.
This is the first time Quincy should have died. Because he goes wolf form, kills, like, 4 guards.
That's true.
And then, like, Quincy, like, goes to shoot him, and he, like, just... I don't know, parlays over him, and he's like, "Oh my god!"
Well, I think it's like,
man.
I think in the book Quincy like shot at a giant bat while they were having a meeting.
Is that what it was?
So it might have been a reference to that because Quincy makes it to. I mean, I think he does die in the book. I literally just read it.
He does.
Yes,
I know for a fact that he delivers the killing blow.
Yes, he does. He does. So I don't think he should have died then. I don't think he should have died at all because he's American.
He gave his life.
He should have just shot off fireworks.
Fuck yeah, America!
You know, he really should have had a motorcycle. So yeah, she gets murdered to death. A wolf, he like turns into an actual wolf, which is the only time he does it. This is a tribute to Stanley Kubrick's The Shining with the room just exploding into blood.
And that looks awesome.
Yeah. Doesn't make any sense in the context of the movie, but...
Right, but it's a cool visual. And like when the wolf comes up and like bites her, it bites her like a vampire.
Yeah.
Instead of just like ripping her throat out.
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of weird.
I like that.
Anyway,
I like that.
It's still cool.
So then we get to the funeral. Where she's in a glass coffin Snow White.
Like Snow White, yeah.
And everyone's really sad. And Van Helsing's just like, I need you to get my utensils.
I love this.
And he's just like, we're going to do an autopsy. And he goes, oh no, I just want to take off her head and cut out her heart.
I just want to cut off her head and take out her heart. Seward, come here. Can you get the post-mortem stuff for me, please?
In the book, they also put garlic in her mouth. Just to make sure.
I love that part of the lore. Where you stick like a whole fucking bulb in their mouth and then cut their head off. I don't know. It's just a cool visual.
Keanu finally comes back to London, and in a movie full of great special effects, his white hair looks awful.
Oh man,
it's like they just fucking threw some powder on it.
Again, it's also that thing of like, do we do it like that? Even though we have like these really badass special effects for Dracula, do we do his hair in like an old style way?
Like, just give him a wig. No, because they're using latex makeup effects.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. But like, I don't know, just not make his hair gray.
Yeah, I know they want to
need it.
Yeah, because it's distracting the rest of the movie.
Yeah. Well, they get married.
Yeah, they were married.
Yeah,
while Lucy was dying,
and they take the blood of Christ through a veil. She drinks the wine through a veil.
Yes.
How I don't know.
But then the same night he comes home and sees Dracula is young. The men are
there. He is. He's the man.
Young.
He's young.
Yeah, I love in the book he does that. He's like, "Oh my god, it's him." And Mina's like, "I don't know what he was talking about.
Who?
I saw a guy who was staring at a lady, and Jonathan was upset."
My prince.
So while this is happening, the men go to Lucy's grave or tomb.
I'm surprised she doesn't have one of her tits out in the grave because it's always out.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So they go to the tomb and she's missing.
Oh, that's such a great.
Yeah. And this was in the original movie, and they speed it up a little bit because in the book it's like the lady in white.
Oh, gotcha.
Is going around just murdering children.
Yeah.
Because I guess that's easier for a younger vampire to get.
Also kind of cool. And I didn't know until I watched like the special feature thing that like the whole scene of her coming down the stairs with the kid was all shot backwards.
A lot of her stuff is shot in reverse.
And it's really cool. That's how they make the candles ignite.
Yes.
Because it's all reverse photography.
Yes.
Very cool.
And I love when she's coming down, you think she's going to eat the kid, they interrupt her, she just drops the kid.
Oh, this kid fucking smacks the ground and just starts crying.
And she's like trying to seduce them. She's like, "Come to me, Arthur. I'm your wife. Come to me."
Carrie's having it, dude. He's like, okay.
Yeah. And then Van Helsing does his exorcism. It's so cool. And she's walking
out of price compels
she's walking backwards into the coffin and then like goes to sleep and then vomits up all the blood.
Spits it right in his face.
Yeah.
I don't know why she doesn't try to kill them though.
I guess she's not strong enough yet. She's still a young vampire.
She needed to feed.
The crucifix is a little too strong.
Yeah,
for
she's
her.
only she's only like what, 15 hours of vampire.
They buried her in the wedding dress. Well, that was a little mean.
She sure did.
Well,
they spent a lot
all the money on the dress.
Yeah, right.
I'm sure Lucy would have loved it. Let's bury her in it. In a glass coffin inside a giant sarcophagus.
So they do what they said they were going to do. They stake her heart and they cut off her fucking head.
Sure do. Carrie Owens is like, oh!
And then it's so weird. So it cuts them at the dinner table, and it's one of the few times they do this. They were like, they're eating, they're talking to Van Helsing. They're like, did Lucy suffer when she died? And it just cuts to a video of all the men sitting there with the head on the coffin. And then it cuts back, but there's no music or anything. It's just like he's thinking about it. So you're seeing it. And you're like, that was one of the first time I saw an edit like that. We're like, that's horrifying.
Yeah. It's also, she's like, well, what's, she's like, oh, she's at peace.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, cut the head off. I took out the heart. She's at peace.
Yes, it was extremely painful. And then we cut off our head.
And he's like, Mr. Van Helsing. By the way, I wish I was in this pub eating that roast beef with Van Helsing because it looks amazing.
It does look
it looks
pretty good.
super cozy. I want to drink. He fucking shotguns a whole stout.
Yeah.
He's like, what did you think?
Oh,
Mr.
and I love when
Harker?
he's just like, when he's talking to, they made Van Helsing a real creep in this.
Oh my God, he is.
Yeah.
Dancing with, touching
Yeah, he like
women and
dances
stuff.
with
Yeah.
Mina. Like that is a line that he says to her in the book, but like he doesn't really dance and be all creepy with her.
Yeah.
Only 2 dance scenes I know of in this movie. That's a setup for another thing.
He sniffs her too, by the way.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you smell so
he
young
did
and
just
fresh.
he did just play Hannibal Lecter.
Oh,
so
this is true.
I'm pretty sure that was like, hey, can you do a little?
Come on, you remember that thing you did?
So I love when he's talking to Harker. He's like, so when during your infidelity with the brides, and Harker's like, dude, like what? That wasn't. That's not even remotely what happened.
Did you drink those concubines' blood
He's
or
like,
what?
no.
He's like, no.
Yeah, but he talks about how they have
3.
But he talks about how they have to hunt now.
Yeah.
And Harker's just like, oh yeah, I know where he sleeps. I sold him the place. It's Carfax Abbey. At some point, Harker should be like, hey, Mina, do I still have a job? I've been gone for a while.
Has anybody called for me or anything? Well,
Yeah.
no. Well, he's also sent letters to the job as well.
Well, his boss should have sent a letter back. We're like, what the fuck? You can't have a month off.
We've been paying your bills. They've been like sending the paycheck to his house, or like a sack full of coins, or however they did that.
So they're all on board with the killing.
Yeah.
We never get to see like a scene of all of them together coming up with the plan.
No.
Which we get in the book. And this one, it's kind of just like, hey, we're all going to kill Harker and Mina. This is the plan. You guys in? Cool.
Well, he recruits them individually.
Yeah.
The night prior, when they kill Lucy, all the rest of the crew are there.
Yeah.
I also love how, again, I mentioned RPG before. I love how they all have their unique weapons.
Yeah.
Like Quincy has like a specific giant Bowie knife with like the rhino hilt, and like Carrie Ellis has like these twin pistols and shit.
But yeah, they go and they start exercising Carfax Abbey.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, they're like desecrating his dirt, and they're like christening his.
Yeah, they're like busting up the boxes that are full of the earth, and they're
he's a giant Batman.
He sure is.
He would end up being in a Batman movie, but right now he's a literal Batman.
I'm a commissioner. Why isn't he in one of the boxes? He's literally hanging as a bat monster from one of the belfries.
He was probably just hanging out, like, all right, I'm gonna flap my wings.
He wasn't
later.
hungry?
Oh, who's down there? What's going on down there?
Hey, stop busting up my boxes!
What is on my boxes?
Why the fuck didn't he kill all these guys?
So, like, Renfield tells Mina, he's like, hey, the master, you got to get out of here.
Oh,
like, this is not a good place to be.
Yeah, because Seward like brings her to safety to the mental institution, and he's like, oh, you the beautiful woman.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna get eternal life, and I'm not. The master commands it.
And he's like, you need to get away from here. The master's gonna kill you. And then he screams at the master. He's like, you promised me eternal life.
Fucking Dracula picks him up as Mist and just smashes him against this wrought iron door.
Yeah, his head gets caught in it and it breaks. They deleted the scene where they try to drain his brain.
Oh, yeah.
Because he kind of just repeats what he already said.
Well, yeah, and then like post-mortem, he's like squished between the bars.
Yeah.
And Drax's like, you betrayed me, Renfield.
But yeah, he goes in, he tries to seduce Mina, and he confesses who he is to her. He's like,
bitch, you didn't know?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
He's like, look, I gotta tell you.
I killed Lucy.
He's like, I am the man they call Dracula. I love how she like interrupts it. He's like, hear me. And then he goes right back into his thing. So she goes from like hating him to beating him up. And then she's like, I love you.
Why? Again, like he's like, no, you must love me from your own free will.
Yeah.
But then he's like, I'll put a little stink on it.
Not too much free will.
Yeah.
Just so
enough.
She decides she's into it.
Oh, she's in it to win it.
Yeah.
He like cuts his fucking chest open, and
Which he does do.
Yeah.
In the book. He
Yeah.
does like slice open his chest.
and she's just drinking him up.
Yeah. And he's,
he's
like,
loving it.
at first he's just like, no, I can't.
Oh yeah,
I don't want to do this
No,
to you.
stop. Okay, no.
And she's like, take me away from all this death. But
That's
I
a
love,
good line.
I love when the guys break in and she's just like hovering in the air, like still sucking the blood, but then he shows up like the back.
Oh, it's so good.
Mina!
I love the fucking bat. The bat is so cool.
How did you not think this happens? This is gonna happen in something else that we're gonna talk about. But like, how did you not think that the monster wouldn't get in the open fucking window? He's a bat.
Yeah.
And a wolf and mist and whatever.
I think she opened the window, like,
Did
as
she?
a trance. Yeah.
Anyway, he has to be invited. Anyway.
But yeah, well,
does he? I thought so. No?
maybe
in the book?
Maybe Renfield invited them in.
Come in, master. Throw me against the wall, master. I like it.
So he's a bat now.
Yeah.
And they come in.
Oh man, and he's talking
Like,
as the bat?
Yeah, he's talking as the bat. He does this whole like I who commanded armies line. I like when he stomps his foot and the cross just lights on fire.
Oh man, it's so good.
Yeah, but he like lets them know, and this happens in the book where he's like, "Nah, she's mine now.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
my bride now.
Yeah, she is now my." In the book, I think he does it to spite because they killed Lucy.
Yeah.
But yeah, and this is like, nope, she's my bride now. And I love when he like goes into the closet
shadows?
and then turns into
Get a
all the
light on him.
rats.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay, there's only one other thing that I've seen that does that just as well.
Yeah.
And it's the scene in the gate
Okay.
where the
monster falls.
well, yeah, he's like a carpenter or a plumber or like a construction guy.
Okay.
He fucking falls and then he just scatters out and it's all like
Yeah.
the demon minions.
Yeah, that seems
It's
awesome.
really cool.
But yeah, I like how the rats are arranged like bat
Oh,
wings.
it's so cool.
And then they fall and they run out, which is awesome.
They wait till they're all gone and then they're like, step on them.
It is a mad dash to get Dracula. But
Back-
they're yes.
Back to the homeland.
Yes, he is on his way to his homeland. They are in hot pursuit, but there's a problem. He can read Mina's mind.
Yes, now they're telepathically linked because she is now
Yeah.
technically vampire.
And it's
Vampire.
like it's represented as her laying there, and you see like a superimposed Dracula over her.
It's kind of cool.
It is cool.
Yeah.
So their whole plan is like, look, we have to split up. Van Helsing's going to take her directly to the castle. The most direct way, because Dracula's not going to take the most direct way.
No, he's-
But
yeah,
if we split up, we can figure out where he's going, and he won't be able to read our minds. So that's like the whole plan right there.
Except the fact that they've been talking in front of Mina the entire time. So she's like, got it. I'm going to tell Dracula now with my mind. And Dracula's like, okay, we're going to go a different way now. Because he's going by boat, and he's like,
Yeah.
if we take the train, and then we go here, and then we go here, we'll hit him off at his castle.
Yeah.
And they're like, shit, he foiled our plan. He knew we were coming.
And they don't mention
He's
this,
reading a
but,
mind. He's reading a mind, Tony.
Yeah, they don't mention this, but Dracula can't like travel over water. That's why he needs to be on a boat and stuff. Like he can't like his power doesn't work on
Go
running
over,
water.
go over
running water.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
It's like a thing.
But I guess the ocean is like the biggest source of running water now.
I guess he could be on a boat. He just can't like fly.
He's got his
or
sea legs,
anything.
right?
Yeah.
He just can't go over like a crick.
Like he can't like fly over it for whatever reason.
What if he's in a train over a bridge?
No, I'm saying he could be in a vehicle. He just can't like magically
So
fly.
then why does he
over
take the boat? Why does he take the long way if he's got to get back to home? Why does he take the train? It's a more direct route. That's why the guys
Well,
take the
because
train.
they would expect him to take the most direct route and follow him. So that's why he's taking this convoluted route to throw them off.
I still think that Dracula gave them a bunch of time to catch up. But that's just me. Like he was like, let's see what happens.
Well, look,
Maybe.
his plans fell apart. He had to improvise.
He's also like, I'm ready to die anyway, kind of.
So they get to Dracula's castle, Mina and Van Helsing. And while they're there, she's like starts getting more vampy. And I think the brides are kind of helping. She like puts what's his face into a trance.
Van Helsing, yeah.
Yeah.
With her boobs.
Yes. He starts like making out with her.
I don't even think he put her in a trance. She put him in a trance.
He's just horny.
He's just like, wow, those are some boobs. Yeah, I like that. I've been waiting for this. Dracula and boobs and dinner.
But yeah, the brides show up because he notices that they're into it.
Yeah.
They're in on it. But
well, they're kind of into it.
Yeah. He puts like the wafer on her head and gives her the burn, which she does have that burn in the book.
She gets fucking evil edited straight up.
Yeah. But I love he drives the brides back and then he makes a ring of fire. But I'm like, it's snow. What is he lighting on fire?
The holy oil.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
So out of anger, they just fucking eat the horse.
They kill the horse. Well, they kill the horse so they can't get to the castle.
Right. Well, no, they make it to the castle. They're camped outside the castle.
I know, but they kill the horses so that they can't. Oh wait, are they?
Yeah, they're right outside the castle.
Oh,
they just kill the horses
just because they're dicks.
Yeah.
It's a lot of blood.
By the way, so this next scene of Van Helsing killing the brides is cooler than the entire Van Helsing movie. He just walks in with the fucking Bowie knife that was lent to him, I guess.
What the hell is it called? It's called like a Turka knife or some shit.
Yeah. But I love how you don't even see the one get killed. You just see the shadow. But then the other ones, because they're resting, they're like reacting, but they can't wake up.
But they're asleep. Yeah.
Why not? You know this guy's out there. You know he wants to kill you. Why not find a more secret place to sleep?
Did he like watch them go to bed? Like,
I don't know.
Yes, they're in the castle right there.
He just walked around during the daytime.
And he's like, here's the knife. I'm just gonna go chop their fucking heads off. And I love when he's like the fucking headless horseman, dude. He takes the three heads and chucks them into the river.
Dracula just didn't leave some gypsies behind as a guard.
They're there.
They're there to pick him up.
The Winky guards are definitely there for sure.
The what?
The Winky guards.
It's the Winky guards.
The Winky guards from Wizard of Oz. They protect the witch. They look like the fucking Winky with the hats and everything. Oh, we love Dracula. Dracula.
So they managed to work in a fun chase and shootout into this movie. And credit to them because
it's really good.
This whole movie is shot on a soundstage.
Yeah.
So that means they had to do a lot of like running in the same area over and over again.
I haven't, not me personally, I haven't seen a soundstage like that since like Legend.
Imagine how Legend would have looked if it didn't blow up.
Well, this is also true, but like, that's all soundstage, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, incredible stuff.
It's the entire movie soundstage.
Yeah.
So this shootout is fun. It's exciting.
Some guy falls off a horse. They're killing the Winky guards on the
one of them gets thrown off a cliff.
Yeah, it's cool.
Dracula's got like this ticking clock thing because it's daytime, so he won't have all his power, and he's kind of drained because he's like old man Dracula, so he's like waiting in the thing. He's like, I need to get out. And then Mina, she looks at them with binoculars, but she has vampire vision, so she can zoom in.
She's a vampire now, yeah.
And also she has camera angle vision because she can switch camera angles.
She's got boom arm vision, dude.
Yeah. And then she throws blue flames into the sky.
She like Sindel screams at the sky and like these blue rings going. She looks like Minya with his fucking smoke rings like going into the sky, and she like summons a storm or like makes the sun go down.
Yeah, to make clouds go everywhere.
Yeah.
Which is pretty awesome. Then Dracula finally breaks out.
Yeah.
And right away his throat's slit.
Oh man. He bursts out and Carrie Elwes just goes and cuts his throat.
And then Quincy, who just got stabbed in the back.
Yeah.
Americans would never do that. He's just like, this is for Uncle Sam. And he stabs Dracula in the heart.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
God bless America.
I'm gonna carve my John Hancock into your fucking chest. And then Dracula's like, who is John Hancock? Ah!
These colors don't run. Oh my God, Quincy the Texan.
I'm gonna make Transylvania the 52nd state. And Dracula's like, aren't there less than 50 at this point in time? He's like, shut up. So he like stabs Dracula
right in the heart with a giant ass Bowie knife.
Yeah, Dracula's basically dying.
Yeah.
And then Mina stops them from killing him.
Where did she get that rifle from?
And she took it off one of them. Or maybe she took off one of the gypsies.
Who knows?
They had guns too.
And they're like, she's like, got a gun pointed at him. And they're like, she's like, stay back.
Yeah.
Whatever.
They're like, no, we need to kill him. And she's like,
no.
Would you do the same to me?
And long dramatic pause from Jonathan Harker because he's thinking about what he had for lunch instead of what's going on.
And he's like, no, this is her fight now. And everyone there should be like, what the fuck are you talking about? She is mind controlled by him, and she's been betraying us.
Yeah.
Every step of the way lately.
She's a fucking vampire.
Like, can we at least go in to make sure she does it? Like, we're just going to let her go in and just guess?
And close the door and then just walk away?
Yeah.
And then wake up dead tonight? You know what I mean?
And then poor Quincy dies.
Well, with his last breath he gave for America, he destroyed the evil of Romania.
I mean, he thinks he destroyed it, but I really mean I was going to do it. But I also love...
it's 3/4 of the way there.
Yes. I also love Van Helsing going, we've all become God's madmen.
It's exactly what I wanted.
I'm so happy.
I'm so happy. Let's go eat and drink, fellas. I can't wait to write the book.
So yeah, she goes into the little chapel area, which he still had.
Well, it's the same castle.
It's the same castle, but you'd think he'd be like, get all these crosses out of here.
Well, you know, Dracula's very dramatic.
Yeah.
And he's a fool for nostalgia. You know what I mean? He really loves this stuff.
Yes. So he's laying down. He's just like, oh, why is God constantly betraying me? Oh, I'm so
Maybe
sad.
because I kill people and turn them into monsters.
Yeah.
And, kill innocent. Yeah.
And he's just like, oh, it's done. I don't know why.
They could have just took it out.
He could be like, can you just give me some of your blood? I got to heal.
Well, again, it must be just the tip of that Bowie knife is in his heart. And he's like,
Yeah.
I'm tired of being Dracula.
You know what? I'm fucking done. I'm good. It's going to be a long time before I can get boxes of dirt to anyone else's country.
There's no more dirt up here. I'm done.
Yeah.
Without skipping a beat, Mina just takes the hilt of this knife and just shoves it all the way through, and it sparks the stone.
But she also makes out with a scary monster face.
Oh my god, she licks that fucking bat mouth. Yeah.
Yeah, then she does it, and his face turns back to normal.
Our love is stronger than death.
To handsome Gary Oldman.
Handsome Gary Oldman.
God, I love you. Thanks for saving me, question mark.
And then that's how the movie was supposed to end. And then they were going to go outside, and they were like, it's done. They were going to drag Quincy.
You missed a big part, though.
What part?
When George Lucas...
Well, I'm thinking, this is how the movie was originally going to end.
Correct.
I think you could have just stabbed him, and that was it.
Sure.
I don't think you needed them grabbing Quincy and walking over the cross.
No, or the hug to reunite Mina and...
maybe a little bit to show that Mina actually does love Jonathan Harker, because now it's kind of up in the air.
Well, yeah, because you don't know if she's hypnotized or it's in earnest, but...
well, her spell is broken, by the way.
Sure. So she's like, what am I doing here in Transylvania?
Yeah, so this is that vampire rule. If you kill the main one, the other one, the underlings will stop. Yeah. So her scar is healed.
She's got to eat his heart, right?
No.
Oh.
But yeah, so apparently Coppola showed this to George Lucas. And George Lucas, I guess he liked the head getting cut off scene earlier in the movie, and the other ones.
Hey, Francis.
I guess it makes sense. All the other vampires did get their heads cut off. So basically, yeah.
Francis. You know what would be good if if we cut his head off?
But he says that would be the greatest act of love, is to cut the head off, to make sure they would never come back as a vampire.
Who is George Lucas loving?
I don't know.
Cut his head off. That makes sense.
Yeah, definitely not his ex-wife, who was shitting on the prequels recently and the sequels.
She loves him. So just end it. Cut his fucking head off, Francis.
Well, I think Temple of Doom was made after one of his divorces, and it's like, oh, the movie where people's hearts get pulled out? Makes sense. Makes sense to me. So yeah, George Lucas suggested they cut off the head, and the head gets fucking cut off.
I'm going to do that to Django Fett. It's going to be great.
So yeah.
Mace Windu loved him.
Yeah. So then it ends with her looking at the mural on the ceiling, which it's Dracula and his wife, but he's wearing the red meat suit and he's flying.
I think it was a painting of him and her committing suicide together. He wished he had gone with her, maybe.
Maybe. I just thought they were flying.
Well, he could be.
But he wore his red meat suit. I thought that was pretty
He really
hilarious.
likes it, okay? Really it was custom made for him.
Really likes their red meat suit. Yeah, and it's a really bittersweet ending there. Yeah. And it's a great fucking movie.
It's so good.
It is really, really good. I mean, Keanu Reeves is a problem. Winona Ryder's not the best in it, but other than that, it's a really solid film. Gets the point of the book across. It adds what it adds doesn't take away from the original story too much.
Yeah.
I think it handles the source material well. There were some deleted scenes. Let me see here if there's any we didn't miss. No, we got them all.
Yeah. You mentioned this in your Van Helsing review of how, like, in the beginning of that, they tried to capture, like, those classic monsters movies. And I think this does it in a way that's both classic but also contemporary at the same time.
I mean, it does reference it. Like, so when he did the whole thing, Coppola said he liked when John Carradine would do that.
Yeah.
So it does pay tribute to those older ones.
Yeah.
But it, like, again, it can't do it too much because it needs its own identity.
Sure. No,
because Dracula had been done a million times to that point.
It's called finesse.
Yeah.
And artistic interpretation.
Yes.
And it's done super well. It's like this fucking sexy gothic fairy tale. And I think that's what I love so much about it, is because it feels like this ethereal kind of nebulous movie and story.
Yeah.
And I think it works like super well. Like, especially with all like those old effects, like the techniques from the 1900s, and kind of merging that with some more contemporary stuff in terms of like storytelling and things like that. And also keeping true to the book, where there are VOs a lot, and kind of with the letters and when Mina's typing, and even Van Helsing and stuff. It also has a sharp wit too.
Yeah,
like there's a lot of good comedy,
good humor,
in this.
there's good action, there's good horror,
and excellent
it's
acting.
a well-rounded film. One of my favorites. It's a movie I truly love.
Yeah,
I really love this movie. Based on that, a whole bunch of other horror monsters were rebooted.
Yeah.
Including one in particular. Oh, hey, it's Sean.
Hey,
how's it going?
Where you been?
Just break the guy's thing, why don't you?
I mean,
it's coming out of your pocket.
So what have you been doing? I sent you here like a week or two ago, and I haven't heard anything.
I've just been kind of like wandering around. I found these cool glasses.
Oh, that's cool.
I just pretty much, there's nothing really to eat here besides bugs, so...
You're eating bug? That guy doesn't feed you?
Hakuna Matata, Tony.
Oh, man.
Well, I'm glad you're okay.
Thanks.
I mean, I personally wasn't too concerned. This guy was, and dragged me out here to Transylvania.
You call this okay?
Hey, it looks fine.
Want one?
No.
So, while you're here, have you been watching like any movies in this video store?
Well, he's only got 2.
Oh, well, we already talked about Dracula. Do you want to talk about Kenneth Branagh's Mary Shelley's Frankenstein?
Sure.
Sorry, you walked in on the bad one.
I think maybe he wants to go back to wherever the hell he was coming from, the dungeon.
Yep. Get ready for part 2. Francis Ford Coppola's Kenneth Branagh's Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
Did you ever consider the consequences of your actions?